Servus, folks. I'm back from Utrecht, and it's time for another episode of our favorite show. Today we have Tuesday, June 9th, 2026. As always, it's me, Theo Todorwadov, and I'm back with the 78th episode of Keeping It Realistic, that show that we do in collaboration with Chaos, and which is very much dedicated to and even broadcasted live in the Chaos Campus group. And most of all, what we do with this show is we aim to provide you with knowledge and insights that you don't get elsewhere unless you pay quite a lot of money for it. Welcome to one of the last episodes of the Keeping It Realistic series dedicated to interior design and interior visualization that we're doing in the first half of 2026. We started these back in January. If you have missed some of the episodes, go to our YouTube channel, YouTube/Campus of Chaos, and watch them. And my recommendation for you is to watch all the topic related episodes first and then apply the knowledge gathered throughout the episodes on our ongoing interior exercise. It's called The Apartment in Germany, and we'll be doing it until the end of November of this year. Let me drop you the link for it in the chat, and here's the chance to see who's there and what you guys are actually up to. Here we go. Here it is. I see Amir, Francesco, Abdi, Branko, Amit. Hello, guys. Awesome to have you here today. It's going to be a very, very interesting session because, as I mentioned in the beginning, I'm back from the Netherlands where I went to the IWI Reconnect 2026 event, which I will tell you more about later this week on Discord. And as you may imagine, during the event, I used every chance to promote our lovely community. To do that, I spoke to all types of very talented, interesting, creative, and generally very, very awesome people, some of whom happened to be into archviz. And when I told those people about today's session, just as an example of what we do here on the campus, I told them that we're going to have a live session with a professional architectural photographer who's going to talk about the process of taking professional photos and how the teachings of photography can be very useful to us, archviz artists, without exception. Like literally, each one of them had their face light up and had a mix of two simultaneous emotions on their faces. One being, wow, that's a cool idea, and the other one being, actually, why isn't this more common? It makes so much sense. And it absolutely does. And actually, come to think about it, a talk like what we're about to have today shouldn't actually be an exception, because at the end of the day, despite certain differences between the two fields, photography and visualization, we have the same goal, which is capturing memorable, beautiful, and impactful images. So I hope that today's talk, even though it's one of the first and the few of its kind, definitely won't be the last. I hope you enjoy it. And if you do, let me know and we do more of those. Now, we figured out it makes a ton of sense for my guest to be here today. So let's actually invite him over, shall we? So let's do it together, ladies and gentlemen. Wait a second, give me a second here, because Riverside changed their UI and now it's way more difficult to invite the guests back again. So let's do it together, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome with me, straight from Düsseldorf, Germany, Mr. Philip Kistner. Hello, Philip.
Hey, Theo. Hi.
Nice to have you. How did you like this imposant intro?
Wow. Thank you so much. It's nice to be here. Hello, guys.
People are
from
already
Düsseldorf.
very excited. Let me tell you, the chat is going wild. Everybody is here to see you, to hear from you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us today.
Yes.
Especially given that, as far as I know, this is the first time for you with such a format when you speak to 3D artists, not to photographers. Also, you have to do it in in English, sorry. So it makes me want to appreciate it even more, you being here today.
Yes. For me, it's the first time being in such a format. But as always, I love new adventures and try to do my best to give you all the information about architectural photography and our process and how we create images. Yes.
Yeah. And I gotta say, you're like almost all the guests that I had in these first 6 months of the year so far, you were immediately ready and willing to join us. It wasn't like I had to convince you and you said, okay, if I have to. You were like, oh, okay, let's do it. And I love this attitude. And what I also love is to learn a bit more about you. In the beginning of every show, we always take the time to get to know our guests better. So please tell us a bit more about yourself, about your creative journey. Like, who are you? Where did you start? And how did you end up doing what you do today?
Yes. Okay. I can give you a few infos about me, and then prepared a short presentation. Um,
Please.
yes, but first of all, I'm Philip. I'm an architectural photographer from Germany. I'm 38, and I'm running a small company. So we are a team of 3 members: one for marketing, one for editing, cutting, color grading, and me. Most of the time taking pictures and doing all the back office administration stuff and the management stuff. Our clients are from construction industry, architects, product developers, manufacturers for windows, doors, um, for flooring. So for all of the stuff that is that you need for building um, architecture. So, and we try to find interesting pictures for them to give their work the best presentation that is possible. So that can be photography, of course, or maybe videography, short reels, GIFs, or things like this. So at first, we always try to understand the project and um, look for the best image or the best possible story that we can tell. Yeah.
We shouldn't forget that architectural photography doesn't only mean capturing interiors, exteriors, but it also means architecture related projects, the way I hear it from you, including doors,
Yes.
windows, whatsoever. So it's very
Yes, of
interesting to
course.
hear that. And also what your clients actually need. That it's not only, let's say, images, it's sometimes videos or even GIFs,
Yes.
whatever it is, whatever shows, I assume GIFs you do to show some type of functionality, a simple one.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, for doors, windows, whatever.
Yeah, maybe you can show the process of opening a door, the door being closed, being open. Um, and I think this is something it's too short for video. It's not
Yeah.
a, a long process, so it's just opening the door, closing the door. That's all. But it's too much for one single picture. Maybe you can show it as a GIF. So we love producing such formats. Yeah, for our clients. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, but it's actually very, very interesting to know because oftentimes when we hear photographers, we always assume they just do, you just do still images. In your case, on your page, it says that you're also doing videography. Let me just actually share it in the comments while we're talking. By the way, people already figured out that we have very similar looking backgrounds.
Yes.
Just to enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's a coincidence, though. I mean, but it
Yeah.
looks really cool. I really like your studio, and I gotta ask your friend Philip about um,
Yes.
the, the
I
setup.
think it's a nice setup here. I'm in the studio from my best friend Philip, High Studios Cologne. He's running a podcast studio, and at my office in Düsseldorf, we have the problem. We have a box for phone calls and video calls, but sometimes the Wi-Fi connection is so bad that everything is interrupting. So I wanted to have a good setup for this talk today, and this is why I'm
Yeah,
here at
and that
High
light with
Studios.
a sensor that
Yeah,
you had to keep waving into so that it's lit up. Yeah, yeah, that was
yeah,
actually absolutely good enough because we don't care that much, but we
I know.
really appreciate you,
Yeah,
going there and having such a professional looking
thank you.
background. Looks
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thank you
It
so much. So
feels
tell
like
us
we are
about
sitting in the
yourself.
same studio. Okay,
Oh,
yes. As I said, I'm architectural photographer, but when I started photography, it was not architecture that I was interested in. It was skateboarding. I think I was around in my teenage age. I was 15, 16. I'm not sure anymore. I can show you a few pictures. I think it's more interesting than
please.
seeing me talking all the time. Give me a second. Yes, here. So for everyone, I'm sitting here more like a business guy, but 20 years back from now, this was me. Um, I was skating in Bonn this time, um, and I was so in love with skateboarding. This was such a nice time. I have so many good feelings and memories about this time, and I love the American magazines with the skate stars from US, from California, and I
Who's your
wanted
favorite
to
skater, though?
Jeff Rowley, yeah, but he's from UK.
Okay, because you said the
Yeah,
Americans, I thought something
yeah,
about
yeah,
the
yeah,
Dylan or Tony Hawk.
yeah. Of course, I know Tony Hawk, but he's a vert skater, and I preferred street skating. But of course, he's a legend with his 900. Um, I think back in 2000. So I think when I was 15 or 16, I started taking pictures from my friends. Had an old analog camera with a 35 millimeter film. Um, that was the camera from my father. Uh, he said, "Hey Philip, if you want to take pictures, here's my cam. Feel free." Um, and I started taking the pictures, and I had no money, no professional skills, but um, just one camera, I think 2 or 3 lenses, and the black and white film. And I developed everything in the bathroom. Um, and because there were so few possibilities for me, I had no lights, no drones, nor no video cameras, only the photo camera and stuff like this. I had to focus on composition and light and creating pictures with only a few components. So
Wait a second. Are these
yeah,
photos that you're currently showing
yeah,
taken when you were 16?
yes.
And you already knew that how important lighting, composition, and all of that was, right?
Um, I, maybe it
Seems
was
like it.
intuitive. I don't know. Um,
Wow.
I,
That's
I
that's
I think
amazing.
I always had a feeling for composition and creating images. I was always looking for, let me say, finding good lines, um, a composition where everything is in the right place. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah.
I see. It's just how should I put it? It's just very fascinating to see this because these don't look like
Thanks.
photos of a, 15, 16-year-old skater, but like a professional has taken them. So you had a pretty great start, I would say.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. Um, I was doing skateboard pictures all the time. When I came back from school, I did all the homeworks, and then I go out and was skating um, with my camera, of course. So was taking pictures from my friends, hanging around, and by time I was getting a bit more professional. I was buying the first digital camera, flashlights, and then I started with creating artificial light and trying to highlight parts from the picture. So as you can see here, I was trying to highlight the sky with a trick and blocking the background down so that it's getting more dark. Um,
This is fascinating. I mean, I read the comments here. Abdi writing, when I was 16, I was playing Tetris, same or other games, and this is what you were doing. Yeah, it seems
Yeah.
like we all sit in the same boat, but we're still kind of different. Yeah.
Yes, of course. I think sometimes I'm a bit nerdy, and if there's something that is really interesting for me, um, I have something like a hyper focus, and I only want to do taking pictures, skating all the time, like a like a maniac, but in a positive way. Yeah. And then I think when I was 19 or 20, um, I started an internship at an architectural photographer. His name was Thomas Riele. He was a very old school architectural photographer, but one of the best in Germany. As you can see, he was working with this technical archviz camera, shooting everything with film on film, scanning all of the pictures in a studio, and it was so impressive for me because um, the projects were very nice. Also, let me say, very good, high quality architecture, but always um, not only architecture but also art. Maybe stuff like art galleries, museums, and things like this. Um,
This
and
looks
I
like
think
a
this,
church, isn't it?
yes, it's a church. Yeah, in Düsseldorf. I think St. Mattei Church. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, yeah. And for me, it was the first time when photography and architecture came together because um, in my uh, in my family, nobody was from architectural scene. My mom was working in a hospital. My dad also. My friends, nobody was an architect, so I had no contact with the scene. But it started when I was working at Thomas' studio, and I was falling in love with architecture, with design, with furniture, with the furniture from Charles and Ray Eames, and I think a new, let me say, there was a new door opened for me. Yeah,
How did you
yeah,
get the internship actually? Was it that you
yeah.
were already so good that you were
No, no, no. It was very interesting connection because my father, I think 30 or 40 years ago, he was running a small construction company, but only for a few years, not very successful. And he had a business partner, um, and he was owning a big factory, and there were some storage rooms, and Thomas was renting one storage room from him for all of this photography stuff, and this is why we came together. My dad went from construction business to the hospital, made a complete shift with his career, and but this was an old connection, and I think it was a very good old connection for me. Yeah,
it seems like it, absolutely. It also
yeah,
once again comes to show how important it is to do more than just one thing, to, have connections, to talk to people, because you see how, this connection of your dad turned into your whole career in the end.
yeah. I think so. Yes. Yeah.
Great.
Lucky me.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And when I started at Thomas Riele, we were also, of course, we were taking pictures from finished buildings, galleries, museums, things like this. But sometimes he had um, the job to take pictures from construction sites. And for me, it was so interesting to see how big buildings are created. So this one was in Aachen at the university, and they were building a new, I don't know, a new a building for studying. I'm not sure what was the topic exactly, but I loved taking these pictures because It was for me, it was studying light, it was studying composition, it was working with shadows, with highlights, with composition. As you can see here, we have this very bright area, and here this very dark area. Um, Studying light, studying shadows, working with textures and contrast, and uh, of course with colors and all of this stuff. And I think if you compare these pictures to my skateboarding pictures, um, I think there's a line, there's a connection between them, because the skateboard pictures were very simple but good, with a good composition, always looking for good light, good framing, and stuff like this. And I think with this uh, framing in mind, I was taking pictures from the construction site here at the hospital, and I was continuing with my own, let me say, first projects. This is um, like an island near to Düsseldorf. It's called Museumsinsel Hombruch. It's like a museum on an island with really interesting sculptures and exhibition houses. And I was taking these pictures. So most of all in black and white. And it, it was a bit too fast. I'm sorry. But I was always curious and uh, expressing myself with pictures. So I tried to find other visual stories. I made these photograms. So you put objects um, on paper in the dark room, and then you put light through the light on the paper. You develop the pictures, and then you have these abstract pictures.
This is so
Uh,
cool.
yeah,
It's a bit like
yeah,
X-ray art.
yeah. It's a bit like X-ray art. Yeah, yeah. This year is for doing how is it, how do you call it when you in German it's called pedicure.
Oh, I
When
think
you're
it's
doing
pedicure,
your
yes.
yeah, pedicure. This is for pedicure. This is for hanging stuff on the wall. This is, I don't know what this was. This is a mesh, and here something from the belt, from my trimmer for hair, and
Wow.
cables. Here the when you prepare your hair. Yeah, I was
Wow.
doing sticks like this.
That's so cool though. I mean, so innovative, and it's just a new medium, you know, that you explore there.
I mean, if you are a photographer, of course, you know this medium. No, photography is let me say, photogram is an old, classic way to work in photography. I think it's older than 100 years, but for me, it was interesting. Yeah.
How did your internship go actually? Was it like, were you taught theory at some point, or was it just you go out with a pro photographer and you just learn from what they're doing?
Yeah, most of the time I was helping him, carrying all of the stuff,
Photo
cleaning
caddying.
the yes, from caddy, cleaning everything on site. If there was some dirt, removing it. If there has to be so if there was a window which has to be closed, I was running on site and closing everything. Um, but of course, all of the time I had the chance to ask him everything I wanted. Um, and he was helping me by explaining everything. So this was very helpful for me to learn about photography and learn about light and the technical stuff by by the technical stuff like how to um, how to use a camera, how to develop films, how to edit images, and all of these things. Yeah.
So you were kind of like doing the mundane tasks, but you were also absorbing what the master was doing and
Of
asking
course,
questions.
of course. And I remember one discussion we had. I was showing him the pictures I made, and he said, "Hey, Philip, um, let me be honest. Don't be a copycat. So you are taking pictures like me, but try to find your own way. Try to express like you want to express, and not try to take pictures like me. You're not Thomas. You are Philip. So do it every please do everything once again." It was so hard for me, but it was honest, and I really appreciated it. Yeah,
It's this type of honesty. This is constructive honesty.
yeah,
I
of
don't think
course.
you meant to hurt you, but this is what we do on the campus too. We just, sometimes you gotta say things as they are. Actually, most of the time, this is why this show is called "Keeping It Realistic,"
Yeah,
because honesty just helps people evolve, even if it hurts a bit here and there.
yeah, of
And I
course.
think with this advice, he helped you find your own
Yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah. And I think it's always good to go out of your comfort zone. Like this, let's talk today. It's the first time talking in this format, first time talking in English for such a long duration. But I thought, okay, if I don't do it, so I cannot evolve and I cannot develop. So I said yes. Yeah.
And you're doing fantastic. So
Ah, thank you so much. Yeah. And at this time, I started taking my own pictures. I was really fascinated in urban environments. This was my street. This was the hospital my father was working in. It was on the other side from my house where I was living, from our house where we were living. This was the the entrance was here at this side, and I was walking around all of the time with my camera in the night when it was raining, when it was fog, and try to find good pictures. And I was seeking for good pictures. So uh,
So it wasn't like you were just having your camera with you, waiting for to spot a moment and capture it, but you
yeah,
deliberately went out to search for the
yeah,
moment.
it's always searching. Yeah, yeah. It's not like walking around and seeing, "Hi, this is a nice picture. Let's take one." I think most of the pictures I was working for, looking, finding the right composition, finding the right place, finding the right light, the right weather, and so yeah. Uh, I think
Were
most
you
of the time I'm working for the pictures.
were you aimlessly roaming around, or did you have, let's say, particular goals, thinking that, like, "Okay, I'll go to this specific area because I think I can capture something cool there."
Yes, of course, I had the aim to take good pictures, but I wanted to explore the city. I wanted to find good pictures. I wanted to see how my environment looks on a picture, because a picture is always like, it's more abstract than the real world. So you have to look for a frame. So you cut everything out that is not part of the picture. um, try to do a relationship between all the objects, between light here, shadow here, the small lights here in the background, this old house here in the middle of the frame. So of course I was looking for interesting pictures. This was the aim. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And then um, in Germany, there was something like mandatory public service. I don't know if you have it in other countries, but I had to work for 9 or 12 months at a hospital between school, internship, and studying photography.
It's either this or military service, right?
Yeah, 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 genau. You can do military service or civil service. Yeah, and I decided for civil service, and lucky me, my father had the second good connection to the PR manager from the hospital, and he was asking, "Hey, Martin, my son is passionate photographer. He wants to develop. He wants to learn about photography. Is there any chance to do public service in the hospital and sometimes taking pictures of what you need? He can do everything you want. He can clean up the rooms, but if there's a possibility to have a small first assignments for him, taking pictures from CEOs or surgery, feel free. And I started my civil service at the press department, and I was taking a lot of pictures in surgery. I hope this is okay to show.
Of course it is. We are
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a knee. Yeah, I think he's has had something with the knee, and they are
It's a knee surgery? Oh,
yeah, knee surgery.
nice.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah. And I was taking knee surgery, and I've seen, I think,
So if you're
30,
about to show
40
a
surgery.
lot of blood and stuff, then
No, no,
you
I don't
won't.
want to show. No, no, no. I don't want to show blood. So I think this is the only picture from surgery. Um, but I think at this time it was like um, like like the next step for me from before the public service. It was hobby for taking hobbies, taking pictures just for my own. So and during the public service, it was more like, "Hey, can you take this picture for us? We need a new picture for brochure for the website, and can you do it tomorrow? And we need it in 2 days. Can you edit it and deliver everything to the right persons?" And so it was a new topic for me.
So first
Yeah.
commercial tasks, I would say.
First commercial test. I think my
And
day rate was €5 or things
oh,
like that. Yeah,
so
it's
much.
very cheap. No problem. It's it was
And
not
you said
getting
you
rich.
had to
Yeah.
do post production from time to time. What did you use? What years are we talking about right now? So when did you do your public service?
Let me think. I was finishing school at 2017, and then no, no, not 2000, 2007. 7, yeah. And then 2008 or 9. Yeah,
Okay, so you were using
2007
Photoshop,
or
I assume.
yeah, since 20, 25 years. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and, I think here everything came together. I'm interested my fascination for,
Architecture.
ambulance, or I don't know anymore. I think it's, yeah, emergency. Yeah, and taking first pictures like in Blue Hour, and trying to deal with everything, getting access, retouching all the stuff that is this that I don't want to have on the pictures. Yeah, yeah.
This is already so good, actually.
Ah, thanks. Yeah, yeah. Okay, let me continue before it's getting too long. Um, and
Oh,
then I started.
take your time, please.
Uh, yeah, okay, okay. Then I started studying photography in Dortmund. Dortmund is in West Germany, and at this time it was the one of the best universities for studying photography. Um, and I continue with taking pictures from my environment, urban environment, landscape. This was a former military site in Wuppertal. Was taking the pictures with a large format camera, because at this time, digital cameras had very low resolution. If you wanted to print the pictures very big, maybe 2 meters, 3 meters big, you had to shoot it with analog technique. Um, it was a camera like, give me a second, like this, with a very high resolution. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Yes. Yeah.
So what is it like studying photography. What do you learn there? I assume it's theory and a lot of photo shootings.
Yes, of course. There are a lot of topics. You learn something about history and photography, about art history. Something about typography, layouting. You learn technical stuff like processing analog films. Um, you learn how to edit pictures. But I think the most important thing is you learn how to tell a story in pictures. Yeah, because at this time, making books was very famous, and especially at the university I studied, everyone was making books. So you always had a finished product in mind and thought about, okay, I want to sell a story. I want to tell a story at this time about this old military area in Wuppertal. So how can I tell a story? What kind of pictures do I want? Is there anything I can combine in the layout? Yeah,
But did you hear it, my friends? This is going to the audience, dear Philip. But did you hear once again? What do photographers start with? Classic art, fine arts. It's
of
like the
course.
basis for everything
Yeah,
we do. You see, photographers do it, 3D
yeah,
artists do it. This is the foundation. If you want to start
yeah,
somewhere and you wonder where, start there.
yeah. Back in school, I had a I had a lesson in art. Was my main lesson in German Abitur. We went to Italy and studied all of the old masters, like like in Florence at Uffizien, all of the sculptures and the famous paintings. Yeah, it's always good to go back in history and learn from the beginnings. Yeah.
More or less, they figured it all out. Maybe not all, but they figured most of it out already. And they had the time, they had the passion to also implement it in art, which you can now just study and take as a general reference to follow. And then, of course, develop your own style or try to kind of implement that knowledge into what you're doing. But the basics are already there.
Yes, I think so. It's always good to be open-minded and to learn about art, to learn about design, furniture, typography, photography, architecture, and all of your knowledge comes together in the pictures and in how you see the world. So let me say, I- everything I learned in the past years, it's like a window for me, how I look into the world.
That's beautifully put. I gotta say thank you so much for this quote, and that I absolutely agree with. Last week I was in the Netherlands and I was in the Mondrian Museum in his house, and
Yeah,
reading about his history, he also learned from the masters. So, and now he's
from the
one of
very old
one of them.
masters. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, the very old masters, but now he's one of
yeah,
them.
yeah,
So it's just the way it is. You need
yeah.
inspiration, and you need those very strong and solid foundations.
Of course.
So please
And
continue.
sometimes you know the old rules, the old masters, and then you break them to develop
Yeah,
something new. And I think Mondrian was like reducing nature as when you see a classical landscape picture, it was full of colors, full of different textures, and he was reducing everything down to more abstract compositions. So it's good to know the old work and remixing it or re-editing it to develop your own style.
absolutely. I'll talk about it during this Discord live where I'll be talking about the event in the Netherlands, and also what we did in our free time. And I'll also talk about this. But yeah, he understood the foundations. He was
Yeah,
also able to photorealistically paint too. And after understanding this, he could start breaking the rules or
yeah, he was starting
um,
breaking the rules. Yes,
depicting things in a different way, but things that he understood in the first place. This is the big difference here. So yeah, very
Yeah,
nicely
it
put
all
and a
starts
very,
with
very
yeah, as you said, it all starts with understanding how everything works. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
right.
Um, yeah, this was in Mallorca, Balearic Island in Spain. We made some trips with the university to take pictures. I was very fascinated in this special road here. It's the road to Sacalobra. I think it's more than 100 years old, and it's very complex construction because you had to, as you can see here, you have to find your way and build everything into the stones and the big mountains. So it was, I think, hard work for the engineers at this time. Um, but as always, I loved the composition. I loved all these small stones here, this area, and the how do you say
The serpentines?
yeah, the serpentines, and but the surface was so very in Germany you say glatt.
Yeah, so
Uh,
sleek and smooth and
yeah, this is so sleek, and this is so
rough.
so there's a so rough. Yes, yeah, I love the contrast, and I think
Yeah,
if I see a red line from my first pictures to now, it's always looking um for reducing, for light, for composition, for trying to find the best balance between showing everything and putting everything out of the picture that is not necessary. So um but as you can see here, I was fascinating in light and seeking for good pictures and doing stuff like this. Um, when I was back in Germany, doing a trip with my bike and one camera, so just on the camera strap like this, and riding 30 kilometers through my hood and taking all of the pictures, industrial stuff, bridges, the river, all of the old industrial stuff we have in Germany. Um, and it
seems
was
like you
love.
never stopped exploring.
Yeah, I think if you're a photographer, you have an open door for exploring the world. It's so nice because you can see. Um, you can go to a house and say, "Hey, I'm so interested in taking pictures of your house. Is it okay? Can I be your guest for one day?" And they say, "Yes, feel free." Maybe they are a bit. They think, "Okay, what is this guy talking about? Why do he wants to take pictures of my house?" But then you show them a few pictures, and most of the time people are curious and say, "Hey, you are welcome. Be my guest." And this is so nice because I think photography is one of the um, uh, businesses and jobs and passions where you can explore a lot of things in the world.
So good to know. If you want to break into somebody's house, just take a camera and then
I'm an
that's
honest guy.
yeah. No, but that's
Oh, yeah.
great. I also wanted to ask you, have you had people do, so having problems with you taking photos or, giving you a hard time?
No, not at this time. I think 20 years ago, it was very relaxed in Germany. You could take pictures of everything. There was no big problem. I think nowadays, people are a bit more sensitive in taking pictures, especially from people. Um, but at this time, everything was easy. You could say, "Hey, I'm studying photography. I want to take a few pictures." Okay, yes, feel free. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Of course, you could not break into property. This is, of course, no question. But if you are asking kindly, friendly, most of the people say, "Of course, please, why not? It's just a picture."
I remember some years ago during my internship in the urban office that I worked for 6 months. I was tasked with taking some pictures in order to document more or less every house which was in a certain area. And
Yeah.
While I was taking those pictures, some people were just curious, others were friendly, but there were some who were like, "Why are you taking photos of my house? What do you want to hear? Who are you?" And uh, there were some intense moments, let's say. In
Yeah,
the end, it was all good, but yeah, I remember that some people had a bit of a issue with this.
of course. But I think it's good for personal development
Oh yeah,
to learn to fix
conflict
a situation
resolving
like
and all
this.
of those
Yeah, of course,
skills.
of
Yeah,
course.
yeah,
It's
for sure.
always dealing with different people and their topics. So
Yeah,
when
but
we
yeah,
when
as
we
I
shoot
see most of
architecture now, we have a lot of situations where we want to shoot from a balcony from the other side of the street, and then we ring the door and say, "Hey, is it possible we're taking pictures from the building over there? Maybe can we go to your balcony just for 5 minutes and take a picture? Is it possible, or can we stand on your ground?" And you always have to convince people. You always have to talk to them, be friendly, and find solutions. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, but you're actually absolutely right. This goes into the, personal development graph. And yeah, you actually learn to get around such situations and make them work, which is also a skill in the end. So the
of
more the
course.
better, right?
Yeah, it's not always. It's not only how good you're taking pictures. It's always how good you can communicate, how good you work together with your clients, how good you work together with the property owner, how good you work together with a facility manager. So it's not always not only taking the good pictures. Yeah,
Yeah. It's not any different in our field, I can tell you.
uh, I can imagine. I can imagine.
You can
Yeah,
be the best, but if you don't know what your client actually wants, if you cannot read between the lines, if you are not convincing enough, then you won't get especially far.
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But please continue.
Okay, yes. I studied photography, as I said, and I finished I finished my bachelor degree with a project about the small village in Greece where my mother was born. My mother is from Greece, my father is from Germany. The small village is called Granitseka. I think 200 people live there. It's very small. My aunt lives there. When you wake up, the first thing you hear are the chickens, and in the evening you smell the barbecue. So it's a typical Greece small village, and of course, I have been there since I was 2 or 3. We did a lot of holidays there in Greece, and I wanted to explore my roots. So where do I come from? And I think I stayed for 6 weeks in Greece at the house from my aunt, and asked all the guys in the village, "Hey, can I take pictures from your rooms?" Um, it was so interesting for me because I'm from a very normal German family. So we had not a lot of money, or we were not living in a big house, or buying driving an expensive car. Um, but when you compare it to um, the living in Greece, it was completely different. It was such a simple life, but I enjoyed it. It was like bringing everything down, um, being happy with no luxury stuff, and I love taking pictures of it. Yeah,
This one is just so good. It's just so authentic.
yeah,
You
yeah,
cannot fake this. I remember this watching it. I mean, from Bulgaria, from my childhood, from villages that I've been to with some
yeah, yeah,
grandparents and stuff. It was similar, not the same, but very
yeah. I
similar.
I can imagine. I can imagine with the old pictures from the family and the old clock and the curtains here, and yeah,
Always a tablecloth, which we don't do nowadays.
of
We're too
course,
good for this, but there was always a tablecloth.
yeah. And when you when you look at this room, can you imagine how small it is? I mean,
Yeah.
the table is standing next to the sofa. So small, so small. But I think there was a wall at my back, and I could not move um, more to the back. So it was
Yes.
so small.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I loved the colors. It was so nice with the red here and the blue and the cyan and the blue green here and the magenta. Yeah, the purple. I think purple is in English. I'm not sure. Yeah, and I was walking around taking pictures. Was layouting a book called Garniceka, like the village, and showing old pictures from my family. I think 100 years ago, and the the village nowadays. Nowadays means 2012 at this time. Yeah. And then I continued studying photography, did a master degree once again in Dortmund, and it took so long time. I think bachelor was 3.5 years. I had my first commercial productions when I started with studying photography, but of course it was just a few productions in the year, so I had time to focus on my study. And when I finished studying with a bachelor and started studying the master degree, I had a lot of productions and a bit more clients than at the beginning, and so I think it took 6 years to finish my master. But at the end, I was taking a series about Monaco. I'm not sure if you know it, but Monaco is one of the smallest countries in the world. I think only 2 or 3 square kilometers big, with a very, very, very high population density. I
And
think one
wealth.
of the high yes, wealth very, very high, of course. I think at the moment you can buy property in Monaco for 100,000 square meter. It's very expensive,
Right.
unbelievable. But I was interested not in the wealth, but in the art of in the architecture and in how Monaco was built, because Monaco was on the back of a hill, and it's a very small area, so you had no room to build a property on the green field like we have it in Germany. So buy you had to build a house into the mountains like this. It was so nice how all of the layers came together. So you have the street here, and you have the church here, and the big ships and the harbor here, this road. You have the train station here. Everything is like different layers in one very small compressed area.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a very
yeah,
compact
very compact. And
country.
it's so crazy to see how this old church is sitting between bigger buildings. And in Germany, most of the time, the churches are one of the biggest buildings in the whole city.
Yeah.
They have space around the church, and they are standing free, like a sculpture. And here in
Yeah.
Monaco, it's like
Pretty solitary,
put
but yeah, no
crazy,
space.
crazy. No space. Yes, no space. Um, Everything building in the rocks, luxury all over there. And this was my project for the master degree. And um, at the same time, I had my first commercial productions. Of course, uh, a friend of our family had a trade fair company, and he said, "Hey, Philip, maybe you can go to Düsseldorf, to Cologne, or to Geneva, and take pictures. We are building a nice trade fair booth. Can you take pictures?" And first of the time, I thought, "Okay, how can I do this? so complicated with traveling and having all of the stuff together, checking the equipment in and out at the airport, going through security, preparing everything on site. But as I talked about the comfort zone, I said, yes, Klaus, let's do it. Um, uh, I'm happy with, I don't know, €1,000 payment, and you pay the travel expenses, and I go to Swiss and take the pictures for you. And it was so interesting for me because I was very young, um, and I had my first productions, trade fairs, um, dentists, and then I continued with, let me say, more commercial projects. It's always asking my network, "Hey, is there anybody who has contact to property owners, maybe in Spain or Italy or Portugal? And is it possible to get access?" And I knew um, a business partner from the architect from this project. He had a business partner, and he had a brother, and he was running property company in I think Faro in South Europe. And he said, "Yes,
Oh,
if you want, be our guest. Come to Portugal, to come to Algarve, and if you want, you can take the pictures. It would be great for me to use the pictures. Can we do a deal?" I said, "Yes, of course. I pay all the expenses for coming down, traveling, rental car, no problem." And then I was shooting the first, let me say, high-end houses. Yeah,
oh yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I was always looking for creative projects like this. This was in
Planetarium
Bochum.
or something?
Yeah, planetarium. Yeah,
Oh,
this is for
nice.
football stadium. Um, I don't know what this was. I think a museum, university, and as you can see, um, it's still the same visual lines, like straight lines, good composition, working with colors, working with light, with shadow. But of course, in a more commercial way than my first work, like this here, like this.
Yeah, these are more emotional, obviously.
Of course, yeah,
But
yeah. And Theo, please.
this is a story of passion. This is what it is. This was absolutely passion driven. It didn't feel at all like you had to do it because, you have to put money on the table and because one needs a job or, just like a mundane, you
Yes.
have to. It feels like you wanted to, and it shows in
Yes,
your images.
I I wanted to, but I was very afraid of working as a photographer. I know one discussion to my father, and we were sitting on his bed, and I said, "Pa, I don't know how can I make a living from photography. I Everyone I know who's working in creative industry, um, they are struggling. They do not have a lot of money. I mean, I don't want to get rich, um, but how can I do a living from photography?" And he said, "Hey, do what you love, and when you are good and you try to develop yourself and you try to um, stay in touch with your passion, um, success will come." So he said, I think I was 18, 17, 18, or at this age, and it helped me a lot in believing in myself.
And it was true, right?
Thanks.
Yeah, and he was right
Okay.
about it in the end. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for making us a part of your creative journey. It was fantastic to see
Thanks.
this, and
Thanks.
to follow your development as a professional, starting from a skater who likes taking photos to a full blown professional, taking um, doing commercial professional photography as a
Yes.
as a job.
I think it's a long journey with ups and downs. Yeah.
Every journey is like this, but by the way, the
Yeah.
the the chat's saying such a supportive dad. you had.
Yes, I love him. I love my family,
Yeah.
mother and
Awesome.
my
Also,
yeah,
when parents support one, even when the dreams aren't, let's say, in the standard, you go be
yes,
a lawyer or, a doctor. Um,
yes.
being a creative is tricky. And as you figure it out with 17 or 18 yourself, it's not mostly not, kind of connected to tons of money and stuff like this, but the satisfaction definitely is
Yeah,
there. And I think if one is good enough, maybe we won't get rich out of it, but at least we will can afford to live and
but you
live
know
our
what?
passion.
Now I cannot complain. So, everything is good in a financial way. I mean, of course, there were times like Corona that were a bit, complicated, but we bought a property 2 years ago. We are living, um, very nice with a nice garden, and so, of course, I'm not rich. That's not the aim. Um, but you can combine doing your passion and living a good life from it.
Yeah, and I think actually the passion is what makes it possible. I think if you only do it because you want to earn money in a creative field, it won't happen. It should be
Yeah.
passion driven, and then you can actually make some money out of
It's
it because
it
it's also
it's
not.
always about the passion, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much, let's say in Germany, when it comes to, let's say, all those people who help us with our taxes, I'm not sure how much passion you can develop for that at all. But I'm not sure how much it is needed because we need them. They know that we need them, so even if they are not passionate at all, we'll still need
Mm,
them, and they'll still make money out of it. But I think in a creative field, it is passion which should drive you in if you want to have success.
yeah, yeah. And I can say I really love taking pictures, and I really love developing, new, visual stories, so I think it's an honor to do this job, yeah,
I
to do this for a living, yes.
Yeah, it is pretty fun, especially if it's also connected to traveling and seeing new faces, new people. It pays off, I think.
Yes,
So,
but of course, you are traveling a lot. I'm sitting so often in my car, driving on the autobahn in Germany and going to next production, driving at night, sitting in the plane. It's not always easy, but I think it's a lot of passion and very satisfying.
and when you're driving somewhere, you probably have some intention on what to do there, and then reality happens from time to time.
Uh,
Was it a good transition?
Great transition, Theo. Great transition.
Yeah, I'm working on this.
Yeah,
So tell us a bit more about what happens then.
yeah. Do you mean the creative process of taking architectural pictures and
Whatever you have
films?
prepared and want to show us.
Okay, yeah, I thought I can have a short break with taking, with showing pictures, but
Oh, we
no
can have
problem.
a
I can
short break.
no, 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 no. I can continue, of course. Um, I
It's
hope
so
everything
fun.
is interesting for everyone.
Oh, it is interesting, and it's so fun. I've suddenly seen the chat so silent because usually when we talk, we talk a lot, and then um, there are not so many pictures, there are not so many impressions we get to see. The good thing when we talk about photography and have a professional photographer here with us is that we see there is so much input, there are so many photographs to see, and each and every one is pretty interesting to look at. So half of the time we're listening to you, but we're also just enjoying these images that
Enjoying
you're
the
sharing with
pictures.
us.
Thank you so much.
So
To be
yeah.
honest, I was not sure about showing. I was thinking about, is it too much or is it good? But now everything is prepared, so I have no chance to change
Well,
it now.
you can always stop. I always reacted like this. Like,
No, no, no. It was just a joke. It was just a joke.
but
Yeah.
I'll just read out loud the last command in the chat to you, which says more pictures, more.
Yes, of course. Okay, let's do. I can show more pictures
No, and
with
by the way,
pleasure.
thanks again for telling your story also in pictures. Um,
Yeah.
I truly believe that I mean, we saw it. We saw it very clearly in your case. I think that oftentimes when people see, let's say, a professional photographer like you, they think, okay, he was a kid, and this kid at some point was like, I want to take professional photos of architecture. But this is not the case. You wanted to take good photos of your friends skating. This is what you wanted. And this
Yeah.
developed into the passion which led you to where you are today. And this is why I always want people to tell their story, also with the personal side of it. Because if you follow the stories of different people, vastly different guests that I have here, you figure out that there is always some connection between what is close to their heart, what they enjoy doing in their free time, and where they ended up or how they ended up becoming a professional in a certain area. So,
Yes.
yeah, this is great to see. And of course, we want to see more.
Okay, then I can continue. Give me a second.
Yeah.
I
In the meantime,
share
I'll
my
read the
screen.
very last comment, which is I'm really interested in this session. I love it, Mario. So,
Ah,
yeah.
great. Thank you so much. Thank you
From
so much.
Guatemala.
Ah, great. It's a very interesting worldwide
Yeah.
community. Great.
Before that, it was
Thanks.
Tom Grimes from Tennessee.
Wow.
It's Tennessee, right, Tom? This is the
Wow.
Corona manager who I just saw a few days ago in Utrecht. The world is small.
Crazy, crazy.
Yeah.
So people from all over the world are listening. Wow.
Yeah, they are and are
Thank you
interested.
so much. Thank you so much for taking your time. Um, I just want to show a few of the current projects we're doing, so that you know what kind of stuff we are taking pictures for. But then I want to talk about the difference between intention and reality, because sometimes there is a big gap. But before I start with showing you the pictures I prepared, I just want to show you a few of our productions. So um, as I said, we are shooting pictures. We are creating films, GIFs, whatever, for companies who are building houses in whatever kind of way. Um, and if you see here, it's a lot of different topics. Like here, it's very high-end houses in Cologne, or here a villa in Königswinter, or maybe a chalet in Swiss, or let me say, um, um, Hermes showroom in Düsseldorf for the agency that was creating um, the decoration from the windows. We were shooting for BMW when they develop new showroom concepts. Um, like here in southern Germany, we had this was a concept. This was the final car dealer with a new interior concept. Um, we are taking pictures sometimes for Mini. They also have a new showroom concept. But of course, for small architects like here, he was renovating the house from his father. This is an old house, and this everything here, beginning from the roof, is completely new. Sometimes we have productions like here for uh, a house where you can park your car. Um,
So you
business.
also do drone photography?
Yes, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Who does?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Just give me a second. I think it's very loud at the moment. I reduce loudness. Just yes, of course, drone photography. It's a great way to show the building in this environment. Yeah, because every architecture um, has environment. So even a small house has a house next to the house, and the architects wants to interact with the border, with the end of the ground of the facility, and he tries to uh, create the best view, to create the best, let me say, best way of how the building is put on the ground to have good light in it. And when you're taking drone pictures, you have so good context. Like here, this was the topic.
Yeah.
Um, and
The
you
urban
see
context. By the way, do you hear me well? Because people are saying that my sound has turned weird.
yes, I can hear you good. It was
Okay.
a bit loud 1 minute ago, but at the moment everything is fine for me.
Okay. I can always turn it down if needed,
Yeah,
but it's
and now I can
important
turn
that
it
you
up
hear me and
before
that you
it's
guys hear me too. Please tell me if it's
yeah.
better now. And yeah, the urban context, you can do this, like drone photography helps so much with this.
Yeah, and if you, have a look at this project, um, I think it's so nice because you see the skyline of Frankfurt am Main, you see, the building from my client, and you see, the mountains here at the back and the, sun going down. I think it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. There's a question regarding the drone photography, which is,
Yes,
um,
please.
do you do or have you done HDRIs? Like these 360 HDRI panoramas that can be used to light up 360 scenes, or let's say light up render scenes. If you
No,
don't know
no.
about it, consider it,
Yeah,
because
r
yeah, sometimes we don't light up our scenes when it comes to natural illumination, of course, with the sun and
ah,
sky system. But sometimes we have an HDRI image, like a 360 panorama that we can map,
interesting.
let's say, as if it is on the inside of a sphere. And so
Okay.
it's properly mapped. We have a proper surrounding, and we have a more, let's say, natural um, illumination in combination with some actual surroundings that can reflect and all of those things. And of course, the second question would be about Gaussian splats. I don't know if you've heard about these, which is you can train such models, which are like small balls of information that create a point cloud. And this
Ah,
can also be used as, it's like a photogrammetry, but it's not photogrammetry. It's way more lightweight. But
okay.
contrary to
Never heard of
photogrammetry,
it.
yeah. So you're exclusively just doing the photo and videography and the GIFs and stuff. You don't
Yes,
do,
yes. I think there are a lot of more ways to work with photography because sometimes you can do 360 um, shots that you can walk through. But
yeah,
most of the time, I think they are more like a technical presentation, and not like an interesting picture for me.
yeah. It makes sense. I mean, if
Yeah.
you like this, the 360 panoramas have been a topic in our field when it comes to visualization for a long time, because many clients, even though they're very useful because you can have a walkthrough, um, many clients just don't like them. And there is actually a good reason for this, which is the distortion. Like everything is very,
Mm,
very distorted. If you're like have a 360 panorama that you have mapped somewhere and you can look around, this is very cool on the one side, let's say, in
yes.
comparison to a still image, which is just the direction of the camera and that's all. You can watch, you can look in different directions, but everything and its scale and form become easily very, very distorted, especially close to the camera. So at some
Yeah.
point, it's kind of difficult to figure out
Yeah. I know
how.
exactly what you mean, and let me try to explain. It's in a technical way, it's good to show everything because maybe if you are an construction company and want to show maybe the whole property area, you have a 360 panorama, and
Yeah,
then you can imagine how it looks on site. So it's more like technical information.
yeah,
But when you show everything, I think you do not show the interesting part of it. Um, in my work, I always try to find the interesting frame.
yeah.
So what can we put out of the frame um, to make the picture more clear, to make the picture um, uh, to achieve a better composition, to
Tell about a story.
yeah, to tell another story. So I'm just, let me say, I'm looking for the interesting part of the image, the interesting part of the environment, but I don't want to show everything because
Yeah.
I think it's not that interesting. But of course, these kind of pictures are necessary for special topics. No problem. Yeah,
Yeah. Informational value is what they have, as you
of
said it.
course. Yeah.
But
So I didn't want to talk in a bad way about this stuff, but it's not the images that I am interested in.
yeah, obviously, as a photographer, you want to be in charge of the framing, of the composition, of the storytelling. And if you just
Yeah.
deliver a 360 panorama, then this job of yours or this task gets transferred over to your client. So they're in charge of creating a good framing and storytelling and
Yeah.
stuff, which they
I know what
probably
you mean.
won't be that good at.
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes a lot
Yeah.
of sense. There was also a question, just two more things by Amit. A question,
Please.
you obviously have a drone license. We need to have
Of
one in
course.
Germany. Um, and the second thing is that he says that if you want to, we can, in return, as a thank you, give you a demo about Gaussian splats or all of those topics, HDRI creation, and all of those things that we just mentioned. If you're curious about it, you can always join us
Yes.
here, and
Oh,
we'll
great.
help you get into it, understand it. To give something back to you. This
Yes, with
community
pleasure.
here is
Thank you
built
so
on
much.
giving and taking.
Yeah, very supportive. Thanks. Yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
sounds good. Yeah.
But please continue.
Okay. So I just wanted to show an overview from the projects we are taking pictures from. So like it's retail, architecture, it's uh, big business buildings, luxury, private houses. Here, um, just as an overview, they I will show this project later. So, but you can imagine it's it's a company for lifts and they for elevators. They needed a new headquarter, and we were taking pictures. But of course, like this is a hospital. This is a factory for chocolate. Very interesting.
The one
Yeah.
above,
Uh,
above the chocolate factory.
you
Um,
mean this one?
yes, Villa H. I
Yeah.
went through the images here. Honestly, my friends, can you scroll it a bit just for people to see where people can actually live? Because if we view it from this direction, it's
Yeah.
just a nice modernistic house.
Yeah.
But then we see
Yeah.
the other side, which is just
Yeah.
facing the water.
Yeah.
It's just so
I think
awesome.
it's so nice because you have two different faces from the
Yeah,
house. The one side is the direction to the street, and
yeah.
everything is a bit more private and
Totally closed and
shut down, closed like this. So you see
yeah.
um, the surface here, but you cannot look inside.
Only the
Um,
entrance opening,
oh,
everything else is just
yes,
closed and
yeah,
kinda
yeah,
like, yeah, it's private here, and then you have the opposite side, which is just
genau. And we have the opposite side with really, really huge sliding doors and the river. It's called Rhine. It's a big river in Germany, very important river. And this was an production we were booked
here's the
from the.
gift, right?
Yeah, yes, one GIF was I think one of the first starting points with taking GIFs. Um, yeah,
But this is a great
yeah.
project to recreate, my friends, just so
Thank you
saying.
so much. Yeah, and this is um, one thing we can talk about now because I was not thinking about taking picture with a boat. Um, I was waiting there and we were putting all of the chairs in the right place, and then I thought, okay, is everything good? Can we take the picture? And then I was looking outside and sawing the ship coming through the river. I thought, okay, great. I need one picture with this luxury house. With a container ship. Let's do it. And I was waiting for the ship being in the middle of the frame. And I was absolutely not thinking about shooting the house in context of the industrial usage from the river.
But this is one of those moments where the
Yes.
intention and reality uh, go a bit apart, and then you use that moment, and because this is the image that probably stood out to me the most because of the, once again, great contrast between this very sleek modernistic house and the industrial ship on the river.
Yeah. And of course, I think this is not the picture that is very interesting for my client,
Yeah,
because they want to sell the windows, and the windows are very expensive.
yeah.
And of course, they want to show that you can have the best view out of your house when you buy these kind of windows. And of course, you don't want to see a container ship in front of your house. That's not the story that where we booked for, that we were booked for. But sometimes I want to make a picture that is satisfying me in a personal way.
But like, take a look at this bathroom, though.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
You once again, um, yeah,
yeah.
this is the picture outside, and this is one of the most interesting pictures for me because you have the river, you have the garden, and the entrance from the terrace to the house through the big windows, and everything is the windows are like a mirror. And I think it's nice because um, yeah, it's a very moody picture.
Is it one of those that kind of happened while you were there, or did you plan for it to happen like this?
Um, I mean, there are a few things that I have in mind when I go to when I go to a production. One thing is that a window, also you can say every glass looks good when there's something interesting that is reflecting in the glass. So um, it's like a rule for me when there's a big glass building, you have to wait until there's an interesting sunset, sundowner, um, uh, maybe anything that is reflecting. Of course, this is something I know before I go there, but as always, you are making a plan, and then you have to rework your plan when you are on site and to try to find the best pictures that are available. But I show you a few more pictures to this topic between intention and reality later. Um, yeah,
Yeah, please do.
just
I'm interfering the whole time, but
yeah.
it's just so interesting and so pleasant to talk to you.
Okay,
So,
yeah. So
yeah,
this was just a short portfolio walkthrough. As I said, from um, showrooms to trade fairs to churches like here, um, to logistic properties. This is uh, being on court, incurred, not for how do you say it? For Gericht? This is
the
do you
court.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, this is the court in Germany. This is a really big logistic property from one of my clients. Here it's even bigger. Um, this is a hotel. This is a church. So I think when it's a building and it's interesting and someone wants a good story, we are always always happy to take the pictures. Yes. Okay. But as I said, I wanted to show you uh, s- a concrete special pictures, um, and tell you a few stories about how we produce some. I hope it's interesting. So,
it is.
I mean, if you compare your work as architectural archviz, you said,
Archviz, yeah.
um, archviz, yes, you can you can define everything. You can say, okay, I want sun at this angle. I want rain. I want the clouds look like this. Um, if you have not enough space for showing everything that you want, you can remove a wall. And all of these possibilities I do not have. So I have to work with um, the things that are on site. So
And your
maybe I
images are
can.
still more realistic than ours. Ah, okay. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
And for me, it is so interesting to find a solution because the clients book me for taking good pictures, and of course, we are talking about briefing and before we go to the production, and they say, "Okay, we want this side of the building. This is very important because this is the entrance, or this is I don't know, um, special window construction, or this building is next to this old building. Can you take pictures of this topic?" And of course, you have something like a shot list in mind. Um, but when you are on site, it's always like, okay, is the production briefing as good as it is should be? Is everything um, are we on the right way, on the right path, or have we think about the project with a different approach? And I mean, this is a really good example for this because we had an appointment, I think, one day before the hospital moved in. So everything inside was chaos, pure chaos. Um, uh, Nothing was ready, but they said um, one day later, all of the um, all of the people who are in the hospital go inside. The beds are full
Patience.
of people, patients. Yes, so you cannot take the pictures anymore. So you only have um, one day. Times is like a time slot, um, and this is one day big. So if you shoot one day later, um, everything looks completely different. If you shoot 5 days before, nothing is ready. So you have a very, very small time frame to take the pictures. And of course, as you know, mean, every one of us moved into another house, into a new house. Um, it's like pure chaos. You
Yeah.
put all the stuff inside. Um, the mirrors not mounted on the wall, and everyone is walking around. It's stress everywhere. Um, just like a construction site, and but it's the only day where you can shoot. So we try to find 10 or 15 pictures for this day, and we cleaned everything up. You know, um, I don't have a picture to prove it, but everything here is absolutely clean, but everything starting here is pure chaos.
That's the
And
magic, though, that you
yeah,
create
that's the
because
magic.
looking at
And
those images, it's just like so clean, so sleek, so perfect.
yeah, but it's as I said, it's the frame that we capture, and it's just one single piece of the complete building, and when you step aside, it looks completely different. Yeah, it looks completely different, and in most of the time, we do not have uh, location scouting. So um, maybe sometimes we have the evening before when we arrive from travel that we can walk through and have a quick check and location scouting. But most of the time, we arrive and we have to start with the pictures, but we see the property and the house for the first time. Okay, first, so in front before we arrive, of course, we see pictures, floor plans, maybe a short walkthrough by video call, but it's just let me say, like a vision in mind. You think about, okay, it should could look like this, but the reality on site is completely different. Yeah, yeah. We try to find interesting pictures. So we walk around, it, and it's really stress because now it's 10 o'clock. We have 10 hours, and the light is the sun is going up, the sun is going down. We know when the sun is not that high, we have to take the pictures outside. Then we have to go inside, take the pictures, at high noon, so inside because of the light. Maybe it's not. It doesn't matter if it's with a high sun or not. Um, and then at the evening we have to take the next pictures from outside. So and um, there are so many things that let me say that are that influences me from outside that I always have to make a decision. So is it the good picture? Is it the good frame? Is it worth to take the picture here at this moment, or should we wait and um, come back later? It's very, very complex, and sometimes you have to deal with crazy problems. So we went there, I think in summer, and the backyard here was completely mess. Nothing was ready, and then we had a second appointment and go back to take pictures from the outside, and the weather forecast said, "Hey, we have 5 days of sun. No problem. You can go there. Everything is working. 25 degrees. Feel free." I mean, it's autumn, maybe not 25 degrees, but 18, but anymore. And then we arrived, and it was fog. Yes, because it was very low, hanging fog, and the weather couldn't detect it. So I was looking to my weather app and it said, "Hey, sun is shining," but the sun wasn't shining. I was so annoyed on site that I thought, okay, I was traveling 800 kilometers down to South Germany, and now I'm here, and I was booked for pictures with sun, and now we have fog. So
There
what
is
do
no
I
better
do?
weather app, especially for photographers, that considers all of that.
No, no, impossible because there was sun, but the sun was above the fog. Yeah, and the fog was, I mean, 50 meters high, and it was not detected by the weather app. So, and we stood there and said, "Okay, we have to wait. Maybe it's uh, it's it's getting better um, in a later hour." But then I thought, "Hey, why not taking pictures with this moody weather situation? I mean, it's autumn, leaves are falling. It could look good." And this was one of the first times I thought about taking pictures with another story, because most of the time your clients say, "Hey, I want a blue sky, I want sun, I don't want people because of the rights." It's very complicated with the rights management and the model releases. So please take pictures with no people, with sun. Um, Please remove everything. Um, and then we have, let me say, pictures that are not very interesting, but very good plannable. Yeah, and I stood there and thought, hey, architecture could look good in a different way, maybe with different kind of light, different kind of weather. And why always shoot architecture in with a blue sky? Because every house that is standing here in the world, it stands there when it's morning, when it's evening, when it's raining, when it's snowing, when it's foggy. Um, so architecture is more, let me say, more complex, or more it has more moods than on only the blue sky.
Yeah, especially in some parts of the world, like in England, for example. I mean, it rains way more than it is sunny there. So
Yeah,
depicting everything with like the blue sky and strong sun at some point even feels fake and doesn't convey a, let's say,
yeah,
authentic sense of
mhm,
location.
yeah. But most of the clients think that the best pictures are taken at sun and
Yes.
with a cloud-free sky. But of course, you can say these are pictures that everyone has already seen. It's no special story, the same story that everyone's telling.
We have the same issue in this regard in our field.
Yeah,
So we had to
I
find
can
more.
imagine.
But in the meantime, it's actually okay to come up with, different moods, sunset, overcast,
Yes,
whatever.
of course. But we talked about planning the photo shoot, and and sometimes everything works perfectly. Like here at this production uh, was for the window company once again, and it's a house a few at the city next to where we live. And the owner said, "Hey, I want a very calm house. I don't want to see the other houses around. I want a meditative feeling. I want to come uh, to have everything slow down and being relaxed when I come home." And so all of the trees and plants were uh, like new built, like planted there. Um, and I think the topic was to find pictures that show a relaxing atmosphere. So, and I mean, it was a bit complicated because first of all, he don't wanted to being his house photographed. He said, "Oh no, I want my privacy. Um, please not." And I'm a businessman. I have a lot of stress. Don't want you to be here. And I said, "Okay, I can understand everything, but is it possible that I come to your house just for an hour and we talk to each other, talk about the production, have a look?" And he said, "Yes, come, please. You're my guest just for an hour, and we can talk about everything." And then we said, "Okay, what are your rules for me when I here? Yeah, you have to be here on Saturday. Okay, no problem. I can work on Saturday, can work on Sunday, no problem at all." And he said, "And I don't want you to bring stress into my house, so please make everything relaxed and slow down. And if we can arrange on a way like this, you can be my guest." I said, "Yes, let's do it like this. But there's one thing: I want a gray sky for the pictures, and let us hope that the Saturday we made the appointment um, has the weather conditions that we are looking for." And then he said, "Yes, okay, we can try, and maybe we can reschedule." And Theos, it was so crazy for me. Every day, every 5 or 6 hours, I was checking the weather app. Hey, is it the is it good weather on Saturday? Can I take the pictures? Good weather means gray sky, not blue sky. And everything worked well. So we went there on a Saturday, we took the pictures, and as you can see, everything is very, very, um,
Very calm,
very calm.
very
Yes,
relaxed.
yes. You have a lot of plants and trees and green stuff around the house, um,
This would
and
have
it
never
showed.
worked with a strong bold sun, shadows, and like a bold blue sky. It just won't work like this.
Yeah, it won't work because you have the blue sky here. It's taking all of the attraction. You have so many micro shadows and small things here. Um, so that I think it's like visual too complex in a visual way. So, and
Yeah.
this is a really really easy reduced composition and light situation. Yeah,
Is it normal to work on Saturdays and Sundays for a photographer?
all of the time. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I
So
have
you're like a
I had
restaurant. You have your free days on Monday and Tuesday and stuff like this.
I'm to be honest, not on every weekday, not on every weekend, but when the job is asking for shooting on the weekend, of course I do it, no problem. But to be honest, I have a family, I have a daughter. She's 3 years old. Have a wife, and of course we want to take we have time together. So I try to do the productions on working days, but when it's necessary, I can shoot all of the time.
Okay. So it's
Yeah.
not like a default setting. It's just like happens from
No,
time
no,
to
no.
time.
No, no, not.
Okay.
And I skipped to the next project. This is it's like a, a school, which is now a house. I think it's deep into the woods anywhere in Germany, and
This used to be a
the construct.
school.
Yeah, it was an old school,
Okay,
and
this
they
explains the
put
ceiling.
everything. Yeah, yeah. I think it was a decision from the homeowners that are the construction company too, because of acoustic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
There is a small technical question. Well, by the way, my friends, we have a Q&A in the end, but this is a quick one from Twitter. Is it possible to actually change the light and sky in Photoshop, and do you do it? I mean, it is possible, but do you do it? Do you tend to do it?
Yes, yes, it's possible, and we do it sometimes. Um, Sometimes we have to take one hero shot from a building, and we have to take the picture at one specific day, but we don't have the perfect weather, so we change the sky. We add sunlight. We try to darken one side of the building and highlight another part of the building that we create light and shadow. Yes, of course, we do it, but it's it's a lot of work, and so we try to
To
take the
avoid it.
pictures to avoid it. Yes, of course, we try to avoid it,
Okay,
but
thank you.
when it's necessary, no problem. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Here in this former school, um, this family is living here, and they have a construction company, and they were renovating everything. And it was so interesting because they booked me and said, "Hey, Philip, we heard that you're taking nice pictures. Can you come to our house and take the pictures?" And I said, "Yes, no problem. I will be there on, I don't know, Wednesday, whatever." And when I arrived, it was such a nice atmosphere there because they were so lovely people, um, and I felt like a friend, I was coming back to old friends, and I've seen them for the first time. Um, and they had, I think, 3 or 4 kids. I'm not sure, and it was like being on a on a family trip and visiting them. And I decided to ask them, "Hey, can you imagine being part of the pictures? It would be so nice if we take pictures from your house with you inside." And I asked them to sit here, um, to create situations like here where they are when they are talking to each other. He's looking at this direction out of the picture, but she is standing here, and you can see her in the mirror, and they're talking to each other, but they're looking at completely different directions. And it was so nice for me because it was something I could not plan. I could not plan.
This was the reaction to the situation, and yeah,
Yeah,
this photo is
it
like
was
a
the
genius one.
reaction. Yeah, here you can see her, and I was taking a few more pictures, like family portraits. Um, and of course, I took pictures without people, no problem, because I think we need variation with different kind of pictures to tell interesting story. But for me, this was the most interesting part of the story. And as you can see here, they have a small pool outside, a small pool outside. Um, and I wanted to take a picture when he's relaxing there, he's talking um, to his daughter, when they are hanging around as a family. And this is my approach of telling an interesting story, because I think shooting an empty space is no problem, not very complex. But sometimes you can find stories that are so interesting, that are like telling
They
story
need to
about
be told.
family. Yeah, they need to be told, and it's story about how the family is living together, how they use the new house, and I love the pictures because they tell a story. Yeah,
Lovely.
yeah. But sometimes you have completely different projects. Like here, it's a company, they are producing medicine, and the architect said, "Hey, I need pictures. Can you take them?" And I arrived. It was completely foggy. Same story as I said before. But to be honest, it was great light and great weather for the house because you have so nice um, so nice colors, and I mean the red here, the green here, the blue here, and everything else is more like gray, light gray, and white, and they are popping out of the picture like, "Hey, I'm here. I'm the secret star of the picture," and this is why there is always let me say, like, a difference between what we expect and what we see when we are there.
And this was fantastic. Like, it was almost monochromatic. The
You
building, the
mean
sky,
this one
everything. No, the previous
or
one.
the
And then you have
previous one? Yeah.
these colorful shrubs that
Yeah,
bring life into the whole situation. Awesome.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And, I mean, you have to stay flexible in mind because, you can discuss everything, upfront and have a good plan, but, reality is completely different. Um You cannot control the weather, you cannot control, um, all of the things, on site. Maybe someone says, "Hey, I only have 2 hours, time slot." You have to go once again, come back, weather's changing. Maybe sometimes you are a bit tired from a job, the day before and you don't have a good idea. So, it's always nice to stay flexible.
Yeah, and looking at this image,
You
still
mean
the
this one? Yeah,
previous one, I'm sorry, yeah.
yeah,
Looking at it, I mean, yes, we as 3D artists, we can change the lighting, we can change a lot of things. But still, looking at the building as it is pretty much grayscale or monochromatic. So adding the monochromatic sky and figuring out how the shrubs can be the only colorful area which gives energy to the whole situation is still something that we need to keep our eyes open for. This is what today's talk is about, or let's say Philip's topic is about. And you can say, yeah, okay, well, I'm not a photographer, so I can set up the lighting exactly as I want it. Yes, but you should keep your eyes for something like this. And the moment you see it happening, you should pursue it. The same with the cargo ship or with this situation here. This is, the idea of this talk.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Just trying to, find a bridge to our industry because something like this can happen too. And then we should be able to figure it out. In your case, maybe it kind of partially happened and you reacted to it, but we should also be able as 3D artists to react to something like this.
yeah. I mean, as a 3D artist, you have so many possibilities to create the image. You can, um, I mean, I don't know if it's absolutely correct to say it, but I think the only limitation is your creativity and maybe the expectations from the client and the briefing. But between this, you have lot of freedom to create images and to create special images with a nice story.
Definitely, and we should absolutely use this to the maximum.
Yes,
But of course, also in a controlled way. We cannot do every image in a completely different way because then a session wouldn't feel harmonious.
of
Um,
course.
so, yeah, we should just keep
But you have
our
the
eyes open for what the project gives. Let's put it like this.
yeah, yeah, for the potential of the project,
Yeah,
of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, Let's talk about planning pictures. I had a commission taking um, it's like a area of villas in Cologne. Um, Let me show you it from above that you can imagine how it looks. Here, so this is an old uh, property, and this these houses here, I think it's 1, 3, 2, 4, maybe 8 or 7, 8 or 9 really big, very expensive houses, very very private property,
That's something special.
and it's a very, very special thing. Um, the project is called Secrets because when you walk outside of the area, when you walk here on the streets, you cannot see anything. It's just a wall and green, and it's completely private, and you cannot see anything. And they have this area here that is connecting all of the houses together. Um, Here's the entrance from every house. As you can see, here's one entrance, here's the next one. This is a, let me say, connection floor. You have here the water, and I wanted to have one epic, iconic picture that is showing the privacy, the water, the architecture, and the straight lines from the architecture and the
The
let me
symmetry.
say, construction idea and the symmetry, of course. And I knew that there would be 5 minutes at a day where the sun is standing in a special angle, um, and you have a shadow exactly at the middle of this way. And so I try to figure out when it is. I have a special app. I think it's called Sun Seeker or anything like this. You can simulate the way of the sun. And I thought, okay, between I don't know 10 and 10:30, there will be a really nice shadow. And I was waiting there. I was putting the camera in place and just waiting for the moment, for the 1 minute that the shadow is perfect here at the middle of the way. And I think it's, as always, you need you, you need how can I say, you need a vision of how you want to take the pictures, and you need like you need patience to wait for the good pictures, or you have to create everything uh, you that everything fits together.
Yeah.
And I
This
think
is
this is a good
perfect though.
example.
I
Yeah,
mean, it
yeah,
did fit perfectly.
yeah, yeah. And I love the lighting situation because you have the sun. You're looking directly into the sun, and normally it is so ugly when you take pictures directly into the sun because the the how do you say, the transition from sun to sky sometimes is very hard because it's burning out, and it's not a very nice look. But at this day, we had like a bit cloudy sky, not that much, and it's so diffuse, so nice. But here on the water, you have a very clear look into the sun, and it's like a contrast between light and shadow, between seeing the sun very very good and not seeing the sun. And I really love the situation here.
Is it a product of a post production or is it just
No,
more or
no,
less how
no.
it turned naturally?
It's how it looked on site. Yeah.
That's nice.
But
That's
of
really
course,
nice.
it's you don't have these situations for every project, no? Sometimes the project is very standard, um, just ordinary job, and sometimes you have very nice pictures that are very exceptional. Yeah. I go through. This is a few more pictures from this house, and of course, we try to um, to calculate how the sun is moving. Um, so
But the
this is
previous shot with the chair, the
yeah, I know this
reflection
one.
the reflection is not
Yeah.
something you have counted on, right?
No, no, no.
It just happened, but did you place
It
the
just
chair then
happened.
deliberately, or was it already there?
It was already there, but I was putting it directly into the light.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. So cool.
And this is something you cannot predict.
No, but this can happen to us as 3D artists exactly as much because sudden reflection, caustics, something like this, just being awesome. Then we need to react to this like you did here
Yeah,
with this chair. Not just,
yeah,
say, oh, it happened, but see how we can use it in a controlled way.
yes. It's always about being curious for taking good pictures. Yeah. It's, this is the house from inside, so you see very private, um, with a lot of transparency and a lot of light. Yep.
You will never think that this is the type of house looking at it from above, right?
Yes.
You would think it's above a bunker, totally confined, but actually it's fully transparent. There's a ton of
Yeah.
light.
And you have a really high living quality there, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I
But
feel
of
that.
course, it's not the
Yeah.
architecture that is done for everyone. So it's, I
No,
think, a
that's
special,
exclusive.
s- exclusive, and a special kind of people that like living this way. Yeah. Okay, I continue. Of course, we shoot other type of houses. This is also a luxury private house from an architect that we are working a lot of times for, and we try to tell interesting stories, as I said. And one story is how the light is changing and how the light is changing the look of the house. So a lot of times we are installing one additional camera on the tripod, and this camera is standing and waiting there for the whole day. And then, I mean, every hour or every 30 minutes or whatever um, is needed, we take a new picture, and then we can
Oh, no.
put everything together. And this is a study of how light is changing the look of the house. This is so interesting.
Do you do these studies for yourselves, or is it something the clients also ask for?
The clients never ask for things like this, but of course, they are impressed when they see them.
So how do
We
you do it? Do
show,
you just do it and then afterwards you're
yeah.
like, do you want to buy this one too?
Um, we charge uh, a price for the production, and then we charge for every edited image. And of course, when they are buying more pictures, it's getting more interesting for me. Um, but I do not do it because of financial motivation. It's more like, I think it's a great way of showing how the house is working. And here, this is one good example for taking gifts. As you can see, it's such a nice,
With
let me say,
fantastic lighting
deliverable.
study.
Yeah, yeah, so nice. And you can explain a lot of interesting topics with gifs. I can show you another example. We were taking pictures from a church, I think 1 or 2 years ago. Church was in Dortmund, and they have different concepts of
Layout.
using the church. Yes, maybe for a piano concert, maybe for a talk or a discussion, maybe for praying. And we were arranging everything um, so that we can show the different concepts of usage. This is so great because it's just one picture with 6 or 7 frames, and it tells the whole story of how the
Yeah,
church is being used.
absolutely on point. Fantastic. Yeah. Honestly, before today, I think that for many of us, myself included, gifts were just like something for memes, something
Yeah, I know.
reactions and stuff. Like it
Yeah,
was always either stills or series of stills, sequences or animations. But GIFs
yeah,
were kind of like not something that I personally took very seriously. But looking
I
at these
know.
examples here, I ask myself why. I gotta say, because this was
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Um, I think it's not the right format for every picture, but sometimes it can be very interesting.
yeah, this example is just fantastic. I don't think that an animation would be better.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe I have one more example. Give me a second here. This. Give me a second here. I think this is not the best GIF I've done. Here you can see me on the picture, moving the wall, the door. But of course, it explains that you have multifunctional usage of the rooms, and I think it's nice. It's a nice small micro story that you can
Yeah,
tell, and that helps the architect telling about the the building and the concept. Yeah.
this is fantastic. This is great. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
showing.
of course. Yeah, yeah. And on the other way, we try to find a story of how the house is being used.
Hmm.
Here, this is the same house. As you can see, this is the big window here, and here you can see. Um, I don't know her name anymore. I'm sorry. Um, the intention was having a place where you can sit, enjoying the sun, and drinking a wine. And most of the um, owners say, "I don't want to be on the picture. Maybe, uh, maybe like a shadow walking through. That's okay, but I want my privacy. Please don't show me." And this is what we are talking about earlier today. You always have to ask, "Hey, is it okay? It's such a nice view. I need someone who's sitting here with a wine, with a glass of wine. Can you sit there? Can you enjoy reading a book? Is it okay for you? Yes. Ah, I don't know. My hair is not dressed up perfect today." And then you have to not you don't have to convince her, but you ask on a kind you ask kind, and maybe you can convince her without pressure that it's a good idea, and at the end all of them are happy with pictures like this.
Right, so it's more personal. It has more
Yeah,
character. It is related to the person who's actually living there.
yeah, and it shows the house and how they live there, and this is a lot of let me say, it's more interesting than just showing empty rooms. Yeah. The architect's intention was to have a place to enjoy the sun, and I
Here we
therefore
go.
someone has to sit there who's enjoying the sun. Yeah. Um, but of course, we have a lot of other problems. This is the house from outside, um, and everything here was not ready, so it was just mud, and something from this house. This was standing there. We had to retouch everything. And of course, it was very complex to retouch it here, that you don't see the difference from picture to picture. Yeah. I,
Oh, true.
when I look at it now, it's not the best retouching I've done. But anyways, okay.
We didn't see it.
Tin.
I can tell you so much.
Ah, okay. Okay.
You shouldn't
Then
have said
don't
anything.
tell. Yeah, don't tell. But sometimes, of course, you have completely different problems. This is a hospitality, also here in Germany, and the architect booked us for interior and exterior pictures, and they had a really, really big problem because during construction, one company was doing a scam or a fraud, and they were, let me say, a few millions were missing at the end of the project. And this is why there was not enough money to build everything like the intention from the architect. So he said, "Hey, it's a interesting project for us. It's important project for us, but as closer you get, um, the quality is getting lower. You can see it here um, on this picture. So um, the way this is done is not like it um, was not the plan from the architect. He wanted to have it in a high standard and nice situation here outside, but
The
we
money was
came
stolen.
to the money was stolen. Yes, the money was gone, and this is why we we talked to him on site and said, "Hey, Christian, I know it's an important project, so how can we deal with this topic? It's something I never had before, so it's a very special problem, as you can imagine." And then we said, "Okay, we take 3 or 5 pictures that are trying to hide all the problems, and then we try to shoot from above, um, from a far distance, that we don't see the problems, that we see." Um, on an abstract level the composition of the house with a nice shadow and how it's embedded into its environment. And I think this picture is so good because you understand the idea of how the architecture was planned, but you don't see all the problems um, that they have on site. So
Yeah.
as you can see here, um, it's nice because you see the small town behind the hospital. You see a nice sun. You see
Golden
this
hour.
small golden hour. You see the small balloon here in the back. Um, Everything is nice because you have golden light and you have the green grass here, and you cannot see the problems that were there in on the real building. And this is how we try to develop a good story for every project that we take pictures for.
This session was absolutely on par with every other that we saw before or on your page, even though actually it is plagued by problems, but you managed to cash them out.
Yeah, we try.
Yeah,
sometimes it sometimes it works out, but sometimes not. But most of the time, I mean, the clients don't need 100 pictures. They need 10 or 15 really good pictures to tell the story, and it's
yeah.
possible to do them when you are moving around and trying to do everything as good as possible. Yeah. Okay. Uh, I skipped this project because I think it's getting too long. Um, it's
It's
the
okay.
same situation as I said. Shooting a company without employees, you want to um, have everything clean, so you have to shoot at Saturday, and you hope for good weather, and sometimes you have good weather. But as you can see here, um, you cannot plan this shot. You cannot plan this light. It's too complex. But you have to be open-minded and aware of everything, and then you um, see nice light like this. I hope it's okay to go here through
Honestly,
fast.
the
Yeah,
staircase shot, I think it's the same that what you were doing since you started with photography. It's you keep exploring, just
yeah,
just on a more local level. Let's say in the beginning you were going through the town you lived in or your neighborhood,
yeah,
trying to find motives to capture. In this particular case, you are going just through this facility and try to find the good motives to capture.
yeah. I think so. It's always about walking around, looking for good motives, and trying to find the best image.
You cannot plan everything. Let's
No,
agree on
no,
this. You
no.
cannot plan everything.
Of course, of course.
You need to keep
Um,
an open mind.
yes, as I said, but sometimes you can control almost everything. We had a production for Hermes, also not directly for Hermes, but for the agency Liga Nova. They are from Stuttgart, Germany, and they were creating these nice, um, let me say, window decoration to present the luxury bags from MS. And they said, "Hey, we need good pictures because it's one of the nicest window decorations we have done, but we don't want to have reflections in the glass in the window. So can you create a production where we can see our installations as good as possible?" And our idea was to shoot at night because at night, of course, the 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 installations are popping out. We have light inside, we have darkness outside, and we have not as much reflections as on
During
the
the
day
day, of course.
during the day. Um, but the problem was it was not enough, so we had a big uh, Molton panel, like a big black part of how do you say, like in Germany we say flag, a black flag. So we blocked all the
Yeah.
reflections out. I think 3 by 3 meters big. So we were putting it in my bag, and all of the reflections that came from behind me were blocked away. Um, and so it worked out that we could take the pictures from the installation without any reflections. And of course, uh, there were a few reflections that we were retouching out.
Nice.
Nice. But as always, you have some complications on site. We managed to block the parking area, and we booked a professional service to keep all the cars away. And it was the road was closed, I think, for 1 week. Nobody was allowed to park there. And on the production day, there were a few cars that
Of
were
course,
parking there, and I called the it's not the police, but let me say I called the police, and they said, "Ah, okay, let me have a look. This is your sign that you cannot park here, that you're not allowed to park here, but it stands 20 centimeters in the wrong direction, so it's not, um, y we cannot call someone who's removing the cars because it was not."
call service. Oh yeah, this is typical
Yeah.
German
It's
BS, let's
typical
be honest.
German because not everything was done on a correct way, so we cannot do anything. So and we thought this cannot happen. It's so annoying because we paid a lot of money for it. We planned everything, and then we stood there, and we had 3 cars, and it was so funny because my assistant and I we tried to find a solution, and then we decided to wait for a few hours, and every time a car was driving away, we were putting something on the street. Maybe my camera bag or maybe my tripod. So we waited for 3 hours to block the street like in a my own way, and it worked. It was so crazy because after 3 or 4 hours, all the cars were away, and we could shoot without cars. I love stories like this because it shows when you put effort in it, sometimes it works. Yeah,
Yeah. Despite the circumstances trying to get in your way.
yeah, yeah. We try to manipulate in a good way. Yeah, yeah. Okay. I can skip through. Of course, you have to deal with the light and decide which is the best light for the shot. This was done in the morning, and I think the green of the trees here in the back are highlighted, and this is like the main focus. It's micro contrast and light and shadow. And I think it's distracting the view. So I decided to shoot it later once again when the sun is going down like this, and I think it's a lot more atmosphere. Yeah,
This was
and
also
of
there is a small question here, quick
yes, of course.
related to the previous project. When shooting, let's say, glass or vitrines, um, what do you I mean, the black flag was one trick. What else do you do
Yeah.
to, have not your reflection be the main thing people see in the photo?
You mean not having my reflection is the biggest problem?
Yeah, because probably you wanna photograph what's behind the glass or the reflection of the glass, but not yourself, right?
Yeah, I mean it's very simple because the camera is standing on a tripod and we can have a timed shutter. So we press a button, wait for 10 seconds, go out of the frame, and then the picture is done without us in the frame. So it's not this is no problem, but reflections are a big problem. Yeah.
Yeah. And you gotta control them with, um, large surfaces like the black flag, which, by the way, is something
Yes,
that we also do in 3D.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Yeah.
Because obviously all the render engines try to simulate the actual way a glass would act, which means it would be reflective. And of course,
Yeah.
we can make glass more reflective. That's one way, but this doesn't look very realistic. So what we do
Yeah.
is also help us with black surfaces and planes and whatnot.
Yeah. I know. I can imagine. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
And
this
I
is beautiful.
continue. Yeah. This is what I mean when I say we try to tell a micro story. No? This is a project that we are shooting for um, the the uh, the window company, and they have their table here with a nice view inside of the garden. And Tilo, the property owner, was such a nice guy. He looked so good on the pictures. As you can see here, they are talking. They are so friendly and so kind. And ask him, "Hey, can you look outside of the windows that we show um, the light on your body, and that we show tell a small story." Yeah.
You use the client as a shadow catcher. That's of course fantastic.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Sometimes you travel um, far from home, northern Germany. This was a private property, I think in Dornum. Dornum is at the coast in Germany, and I arrived and it was so rainy, and I thought, "Shit, uh, what should I do?" And then I realized it's the best weather that's possible because northern Germany is very rainy. We have a lot of fog, a lot of rain, and this is absolutely the atmosphere that um, is realistic for for project at the coast in Germany. And I love the light inside of the house because um, it was bright, but not, uh, let me say, too bright. Uh, in a
Yeah, no
way, soft
overexposure.
and direct, but directed at the same time. So always being curious about the lighting situation. Yeah. As you can see here, it's such a great light. It's uh, you you couldn't have planned it better.
It's like a studio light, actually.
Yeah, it's like a studio light, like a big softbox. Yes,
Yeah.
like a big softbox, and it works perfectly. You have a nice shadow line here. Look at the shadow which is going through the corners of the door. Um, you have a nice contrast between highlights and the darks. So absolutely love it. Um, yeah, but as I said, you have to stay open minded. And sometimes you have completely different problems. You have a facility manager on site that says, "Hey, I'm only available Friday from 10 till 12." But on site, it looks like like chaos. Um, and we went to this project for 5 times to take 10 pictures.
Oh, hopefully it's
Yeah.
not far away.
No, it was not far away. I think 20 minutes by car. So it's
Okay.
absolutely okay, no problem. And the architect loved the pictures because we try to arrange everything. We try to arrange the furniture. We try to arrange the camera, the camera position. We were very high. Um, try to find the best light situations. All of the furniture was arranged by us. Um, before we arrived, everything was stacked here, um, like on a move. Yeah. So, and let me continue once again. Then we have time for Q&A. Um, we also have
How are you
other.
feeling, by the way? We're already 2 hours and 20 minutes in. You have had one chance to take a sip of water. Do you need a small pause? How is it? Uh,
For me,
you
everything's fine.
you're doing fantastic, and, as I told you before, I don't think that you can actually feel the time running because we're just having a casual talk and stuff, but still,
Yeah.
if you need a pause or something,
No, no,
let
no.
it
I'm
know.
I'm fine. Um, I hope everything is interesting.
It is.
Um, okay, great. Then we can continue. And as I said, sometimes the best stories develop by themselves. So we went to this house to take the pictures for the architect, and this is the architect, by the way, Klaus. I really love him because he's such a nice guy, uh, um, and always friendly. He's doing exceptional stuff, great houses, but he's like a friend you can drink a beer with. And we were shooting on site, and he said, "Hey, it's 11 o'clock. I want a wine. Can you prepare a wine for me?" And then I started drinking um, in the morning. Um, this was the employee from the architectural office, the owner from the house, and it was like a small party. And they just were sitting there drinking wine, having a good time, and I thought, okay, this is something you cannot repeat. Let's uh, let's uh, let's say this is our motive. Our motive is like uh, the small party, the architect's party, and they said, "Hey, can you please stay there? Can we try to put the dog into the right place?" And of course, not every picture worked good, and I always showing you the best pictures. Um, but I love this kind of stories. It's so nice, so interesting, because it's a special way to show the property. This is not let me say, it's not the usual way to show this house. But it's
Architecture is made for people, so,
yes,
you know,
and dogs.
showing them use it is
Yeah,
actually makes a lot of sense.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, give me a second. Yeah, here. And then we had a special idea. As I said, they were drinking 1 or 2 glasses of wine, and it was such a funny atmosphere. And then I said, okay, we need one nice picture with someone who's jumping into the pool. Who wants? And
The
I
lady
think
wanted.
the lady wanted, yes. It was so funny, and I love these kind of pictures. Look at the dog. He's walking through the picture, and he's focusing on the lady.
This is
she
total
she's jumping in.
choreography.
Yeah, it's complete choreography. Yeah. Yeah. Let me think. Yes. And when we go on, this is also one project here in Germany with a really, really big garden. As you can see, it's more garden than house. Of course, the house is very high standard and luxury, so great architecture. But the garden it's very, very, very big and very special, and was designed by one of the best garden designers here in Germany, Peter Berg. And when I was there, I asked the owner, Christian, no, Sven. Sven said, "Hey, I would really love to take one picture with snow. So can you please chat with me, give me a short WhatsApp message as soon as you see that the snow is coming." And we were chatting for I think 3 or 4 days. And then there was one day, snow was falling. I just said, okay, I'm canceling all my appointments. Um, have to sit in my car and drive 2 hours to this project to take the pictures with snow. Um, and I love this picture because it's only surfaces. It's a lot of white, and it's like a bit mystic, mysterious. Everything's a bit hidden, um, and it shows the same project in a completely different way. Here you have autumn situation. Here you have winter situation.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, yeah, yes. And sometimes um, you come to a project and you are absolutely surprised. This was a production we were shooting for Move Architects. It's a architectural company from Münster, Germany, and they said, "Hey, we're building a nice house. It's in Münster. It's not very spectacular from outside, but inside there was a lot of concrete, and you can see the concrete walls. We need a few pictures." They were showing me the floor plan and said, "Hey, we want this angle, this angle, this angle. Please take a few nice pictures." And then I was standing inside of the house and thought, "Oh my god, this is so nice. It's great architecture because you only have concrete walls, then you have all the
Wooden
stuff here,
frames.
wooden frames, wooden doors, big windows, nice art, good taste with art and furniture and stuff like this." And I was falling in love with this project, and I was only booked for a half day to shoot 5 or 6 images. And I asked Mackie. Mackie is the owner of the house. "Hey, can I stay a bit longer? And we want to take a few more pictures." And it was so nice because everything was working together. The direction of the light, um, the composition, the frames. Yeah, and this is why shooting architecture is always like a small journey and like a kind of surprise.
Yeah,
She opens the door, and then you think, "Wow,
yeah.
it's
So
amazing."
the outside, the
Um,
house was okay, but it wasn't something spectacular. But on the inside, it's
Absolutely not spectacular. Yeah, yeah. But on the inside, great. Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And sometimes, as you can see here, you travel to Hamburg to shoot another project, and then you wake up and there's fog in the sky, and then you think, "Hey, I have the second production here in Hamburg to shoot at the it's columbarium, at the cemetery. Maybe I can go there today because the weather is great." And I I mean, I had to cancel the other project because I couldn't shoot the logistic facility with fog. Was not was the client expected, and I couldn't fly safely by drone with fog. And so I said, "Hey, I cancel everything here and go to the cemetery to take the pictures from the other project." And I loved it. It was so nice, best light I could imagine. Yeah, yeah,
And I mean, I gotta say, the fog very nicely resonates with the topic. I mean, this is a cemetery. You know, this is not like the happiest place on earth, despite funeral having fun in the world. It's
of course.
still something that it's kind of can be heavy. So having this eerie atmosphere around it is actually very, very cool.
Yeah. It's always going with the flow and being spontaneous and say, "Okay, I had a plan, and the plan was shooting this tomorrow, next week, next month, but now I'm here and have to rearrange everything." And I absolutely love these pictures because topic, composition, weather, everything fits together. Yeah, and now we are uh,
Image 100 from
at
100,
the
is it?
end. What do you mean?
Image 100 from 100 or image 99
Yeah,
from
99 from 100. Yes. And of course, you have sometimes projects where you arrive and you see, okay, great, it's winter. I never expected the sun to fall here into this place in this way. We have 10 minutes to shoot it. Um, let's hurry up, arrange everything, and take the pictures. Yeah. And if you let me say, if you have one message, it's try to look at the project and try to don't have like creative boundaries, and try to find more interesting solutions to create interesting pictures. So picture 100 by 100 done.
Well, this
uh,
was we went
I
through a
just
lot.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We went through so many images, and this was probably tiring for you, but I thank you so, so much for doing this because I think we can summarize this that it is really a reality, both for you as a photographer, as for us as 3D artists, a reality between what we intend to do and what actually is. Um, if I had to summarize what you were showing us here the last 2.5 hours is, especially the last, let's say, 1 hour, it is how you know the project, you analyze it, you develop some type of intention towards it. So you have a general idea what you want to do, what works, and all of those things. But still, once you're there, you don't just blindly follow your intention, but you make sure that you keep your eyes and senses open and react to every possible thing that can elevate the image session and make it into something more special. Like,
Yes.
okay, being it people suddenly having a party out of nothing, or being it the lighting, or whatever it is, being it just a vehicle driving by the windows, which like the cargo ship, for example. Um,
Yes.
you always try to open your eyes, and I think this can be we can learn a lot from it as 3D artists. Apart from the whole inspiration that we got going to these beautiful images, I think as 3D artists we can learn a lot from it because obviously when we are given a project, we also immediately start developing concepts of how to approach it, how to do this and that. But I think we should still, especially with the tools that we have nowadays, I mean, we can try out stuff with AI. We have real time rendering, which allows us to very quickly test out different lighting scenarios. We definitely should to find those moments that we can then capture and they can end in images like the ones that you show us. So thank you so much for doing this. Now I want to ask you
Yes,
because
of
once
course.
again it's 2.5 hours. Can you still answer questions? Because if you want to, I can also send you the questions as in a written form, and we can do some type of a written interview with them if you want to. If
Let's continue.
Mandatory? Okay, it's good because
We
the
are in a
people
good
that are
flow, I
used to
think.
it, as I told you, many just watch the recording and watch it in multiple sessions and all of this. But you're here today; you have to do it in one go.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Initially, I wanted to ask you about where do you start with developing an intention, but I think you more or less answered this question throughout your presentation. Um, what I want to know is how do you convince your clients to go with the vision that you have in mind? Do you do it in real time, or do you show previous projects of yours as a reference?
Yeah.
Or if
Yeah.
you if they say, let's say they say, I want a blue sky, I want a midday sun, and you're like, no, 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 we should do it an overcast day, or we should make a sunset or golden hour or blue hour. How do you convince them that
Mhm.
your
I
way is
think
the better
most
way?
of the time it's not necessary to convince the clients because let me give you an example. I my maybe marketing department from a company is asking to take pictures, and what they have in mind is we need someone who's taking good pictures.
Yes.
Yeah, and of course sometimes there are um, people that have a creative vision or creative idea in mind, but most of the time um, it's one of their business tasks. They say we need pictures and we need them in 4 weeks, and we have budget ABC. And we need someone who's reliable and who's friendly and
Who takes
that
good
is take
pictures?
who yeah, who takes good pictures.
Oh,
So, and sometimes you try to develop an idea and before, but most of the time um, it's more like developing an idea for your own.
okay, so
And
they trust you with your
yeah, I
expertise.
think they trust me, and then I mean a lot of times the following conversations happening. Um, they say, "Hey, we have to cancel the shooting because we have bad weather." And then I say, "Ah, please think about it once again. I think it's a good weather for this project because of have a look at this reference project. It's a similar architecture and it looks good with a gray sky. It looks good with a sun going down. It looks good with people, without people. It looks good with fog. And I think it's not a problem. And of course, then you have to convince the clients.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
And when you
yeah.
want to convince them, then it's references that you use.
Of course, it's the easiest way to convince them because, I mean, their expertise is marketing and not visual concepts for pictures.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay. If you want to, by the way, you can keep your answers short, just if you want to.
yeah.
Um, and what makes an image emotionally engaging to you?
Hmm. Good question. Um, for me personally, when it tells a story that is touching my heart, when I see something that I can relate with, maybe the girl who's drinking a wine and with the sundown, maybe someone who's relaxing in the garden or in an atmosphere that I can relate to. But I don't think that every image has to be emotionally. Sometimes a good picture is technically and just telling a construction story. Yeah,
Oh, that's great. That's really, really cool because nowadays, obviously, many artists want to stand out by telling a story in every image. Like last time we talked about when you have, let's say, a kitchen island and then you have the cup of tea with some steam coming out of it and the bar
of
stool, which
course.
is a bit. And I mean, obviously, this can be a thing, but this all shouldn't always be a thing. Not every image needs to have heavy storytelling and stuff. Sometimes an image can just be, as you say, can just tell the story of the architecture. And
Yeah, sometimes the construction is the story,
yeah,
and it's a technical story and not an emotional story.
this is so beautiful. I love this. Okay, let's jump into some technical questions because we have to. We have a professional architectural photographer here. We need to jump into those. Let's start with the camera height. At what camera height do you usually position your camera for interior photo sessions and why?
Yes. I mean, it depends, as always. Sorry for the answer, but when you are shooting interiors, I think a good starting point is 1 meter or a bit higher, 1.2, things like this. Because when you look into a room, you don't want to look on the surface of the table from above. You want to look through the room, and I think at a height at around 1 meter, everything is really nice compressed. The table is not very big, but you see a slim outline, but you see a bit of the surface, um, and it looks like I don't know how to describe it. It looks natural for me. It looks good, and all the things are fitting together.
So if the camera is too high, then you're showing too much horizontal spaces that add to the composition and to the chaos with all of the
Yeah,
stuff that's on them and stuff.
yeah, and
And when
a
do
lot
you
of
break the
times
rule?
it's I break the rule when
Let's
I
say
see that
it's the
it's
rule matter until 120. When do you say no? I'll go to like a standard height of a person or even higher.
mm, mm. For me,
Or
it's so funny because I'm moving around all of the time when I'm taking a picture. You see me moving around like this, and I try to analyze when are all the surfaces um, in a good composition. Maybe sometimes I want to to hide um, maybe I want to hide a tree, and when I stand here, I cannot see the tree anymore, and when I'm standing here, I see it. Um, and so I try to bring all the lines and pieces from the image together, and I'm breaking the rules when I see that it's necessary because there's another height is way better for the composition. Or maybe when the topic is taking a picture from the table, or taking pictures from the carpets, or from the floor, or maybe shooting from above because you want to show someone who's hanging around at the pool.
so once again, it's about remaining flexible, being open
I'm
to change.
sorry for repeating
No, no, no.
myself.
No, this is
No,
this is
no, I
actually
mean,
very important. It's the opposite of you don't have to be sorry at all because, you know, we always try to find some rules because if everything is just up to depends on and stuff like this, at some point it's just very difficult to start. So it's good to have these rules of let's say this matter to matter 20, where we know it's a standard let's say height to place our camera at, but if needed, we should know that we should have the flexibility to change it. This is important. So we shouldn't just
yeah,
stick in this amplitude
yeah,
and just let it be the ultimate rule and never break it because then we limit ourselves needlessly.
yeah.
So
And
saying
it's
this is
ab-
actually very good.
and it's absolutely necessary to do micro adjustments. I can give you an example. If I move my head around like this, it's when you do a portrait of me, it's a completely different picture that when you're taking like this or like this. Yeah, the face looks completely different, and so you have to when you are shooting architecture or visualizing architecture, it's so important to move the camera through the room and look for the perfect point of view.
I think I assume at least that the same goes for choosing central perspective or an angled shot. It's just what works better in this particular case. It's not, or would you say, let's say, these two types of shots, like a central perspective and an angled one, have different impact on the viewers?
Yes, of course, they have different impact. It depends on the situation on site. I give you an example. Most of the time, I prefer very straight compositions, center perspectives, because it's the way I look at things. I like when they have a graphic, um, like a graphic composition. But you have to find solutions um, for some problems. Maybe you have a row of tables. Um, and it's complicated to bring the chairs in good compositions because maybe they are, um, how can I say? Maybe you don't have the time to bring all of the chairs in line
Yeah.
because, you have 50 minutes and you have to move out, and bringing everything in line is very time consuming. And then you decide to, um, okay, when I go, uh, by side, from side or by also, let me say, not, um,
Angled view is what I call
the
it.
angled view, yes. You can fix this problem in, I think, 2 or 3 minutes because more
It's not that
it's more
visible
more
anymore.
it's not that visible, yes, it's not that visible,
So
yeah,
it seems like when central perspective to you means also very tidy and neat arrangements that are, kind of very geometric and everything is tidy and orderly. Whereas
yeah,
with an angled view, you can actually overcome this lack of tidiness.
yeah.
And okay, that's a
And a
very
lot of times, shooting angled perspective with wide angle lens is crazy because, everything is distorted. You have a crazy distortion, and it looks so ugly because when you're shooting wide angle in a small room, and then you shoot, and from the corner, everything is, flying away.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. And you mentioned composition. What written or unwritten rules of composition do you follow?
Um, I think, maybe it sounds a bit silly, but I don't have a rule, something like rule of thirds, goldener Schnitt, golden cut. I don't know
On
how it's
ratio,
called in
yeah.
English. Golden ratio. Don't have it in mind. So I think most of the time, I see a good picture, and it's more like a feeling. Um, but there's one thing that's very interesting. Um, when you have a series of pictures, maybe 5 or 10 pictures from outside of a building, then you can try to put the horizontal line, um, at the same level so that when you put all of the pictures, in a presentation, the sky is not jumping from here to here.
Oh, that's nice. That's a really
Yeah,
good trick. I assume the same goes for the aspect ratio or for the type of lens that you choose or the
yeah,
focal length.
yeah. Most of the time I shoot, 3 by 2 because that's the aspect ratio of the camera. I think it's working very good in landscape format. Um, when I shoot portrait, I try to shoot in, 3 by 4 because I think it's not that stretched. I like it a bit more, but, as you know, a lot of projects or pictures are shown, responsive, in a responsive web design. So the one thing is, I prefer 3 by 4 compositions and portrait, but on the other side, it's more flexible for the client to have more space in the picture for, presentation at the web, where maybe a picture is shown on the iPhone, then on the
Yeah.
laptop. So it depends. When I see that the picture is absolutely not working in 3 by 2 portrait, I cut it. But I prefer staying flexible for the client.
I understand. And of course, the $1,000,000 question, any tips on capturing small and confined spaces? Because as you said it, if you go way too low with the focal length, then everything is extremely distorted and it just looks odd. So
Yeah,
what do
yeah,
you do?
yeah,
Because unlike us, you cannot remove walls, you cannot clip through walls, you cannot,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
um,
Um,
BS your way into the whole thing. You have to,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think the best advice is to, when you have a problem, you turn it into a solution. When you don't have the space to show everything, try to show interesting detail. I can show you one interesting example.
Yeah,
Give
please.
me a second.
It makes
It's
a ton of sense. Just focus on the details, focus on smaller areas.
tomorrow. Just a second. We had to. This is the house, the concrete house that we talked about a few minutes ago. Um, a few days ago, I was shooting the bathroom once again. Uh, and it's a very, very, very small room. It was
Yeah.
absolutely impossible to go inside because you had no space. And of course, this is a wide angle shot. I was standing, let me say, directly at the wall behind me. But I think the more interesting picture is this.
Yeah, the
This is
details.
what I mean. It's the interesting detail and not the overall. This one's
And through the
interesting
open
because
door
it's
too. I mean, opening the door
yes,
and taking a photo from the outside is also
yeah.
very, very sweet approach to doing
Of
this.
course, you are right. This is a good picture, but this is a
Yeah,
even better picture, I think.
yeah, that's true.
Um, yeah, this is
Yeah,
this
that's
is
true.
what I was
So now we have an answer and even an example.
hmm,
Um, People are very thankful, by the way, in the comments. Um,
with pleasure,
any
of course.
recommendations for finding a good balance between natural and artificial illumination?
Do you mean artificial illumination with flashlights,
I
or you
mean, the
mean
lamps that are in an apartment. Let's say you have an
uh,
interior. Do you turn on the
yeah,
lamps, or do you turn on a specific lamp, or do you just let it, you
mm,
know, do let all the
mhm,
natural lighting do the heavy lifting?
yeah, yeah. At at the most of the time, I don't like mixing natural light and artificial light because in photography, you have a big problem with white balancing the picture, and a lot of times when you when you adjust the picture for the natural light, the artificial light looks like a burning fire. It looks so yellow, and I absolutely hate it when it looks like an oven. Yeah.
Um, Apropos, you just said post production. You mentioned it. Trying to fix, balance out the lighting, and how or to what degree is post production important for your specific workflow? What part of an image creation is it? Like you have the
I
shooting,
think
and then
it's
how much percentage is the post production?
I would say 50-50.
Oh, 50%. So
Yeah, yeah,
important.
yeah. Yes, of
Okay.
course. Because, we have so many limitations in photography. Maybe sometimes we want 2 people in the picture, but we cannot arrange them to have the perfect, um, moving at the same time. Maybe you want to have a mother and her child. Sometimes it's absolutely impossible to have one picture with both people smiling and having the exact wanted impressions on the face, so expressions on the face. Um, so you have to combine them in Photoshop. Sometimes a window is burning out. Sometimes you have to retouch color casts. Sometimes you have to lighten up the shadows. I think post production is 50-50. Yeah.
A major aspect. So, okay, so
Of course,
it
absolutely.
it makes can you turn almost every image, even a bad one, into a good one with post production? Like maybe
I
not
wouldn't
com
say I can I wouldn't say I can turn every bad picture into a good picture because when there's nothing special on it, uh,
yeah,
even
of
with good
course.
post-production, it will not be interesting. But you can fix a lot of problems, and you can, um, lift a lot of pictures up in post-productions, of course. Yeah, yeah.
How much do you tend to change the interiors before you capture them, actually? I mean, you showed us a few examples where you need to tidy up, where you needed to, do all the arrangements of furniture and all of those things.
Yeah.
Is it a typical thing to do also in, let's say, in residential interiors that you maybe bring your own assets, remove some of the things that people have there?
We don't try to bring own furniture or own accessoires, because we try to show the concept, from our clients and how the people live there. And I think it's not a realistic way to bring completely new furniture and decoration and to change the mood of the house. But of course, we are arranging every furniture on the picture.
Hmm. That's that's good to know because we can do that too. And obviously, if you do it, and for you it's way more difficult to do it than it is for us, then we should probably also consider doing it too. And when it comes to people in photo shoots, um, when do we use motion blur and when do we show the people? Like you showed us examples of both.
It depends on the story. Um, when the story is someone is moving, someone is going down the stair, someone is coming through the main entrance, coming through the door. Um, I think then you can show motion blur. But when the story is more like someone is sitting there, someone is relaxing, you want to show all of the details in the face. You want exact composition. Um, then you have to avoid motion blur.
Okay.
I mean,
Um,
I was showing a few pictures with the property owners sitting there and talking to each other. It would completely make no sense when they have motion blur because they are sitting. Um, but on the other way, when someone is going through the house, someone is walking down the street, it can completely be interesting to have motion blur, or maybe the cars going through. Um, you have the lights, the car light, the red lights, showing. This is interesting for motion blur.
Thank you so much. I have many more questions, but I'll reduce them to three, four, so that we don't get into 4 hour. First thing,
Yeah.
what was I have to ask? What's the impact of AI on photography?
I think at the moment I see a lot of good developments. Um, I will answer your question in 5 seconds. First of all, for me, it's so helpful for all of the business and back office stuff because it's so heavy. Sometimes so heavy tasks doing text concepts, emails, writing business stuff, and AI is a game changer for me because I can automate and speed up a lot of things so that I have more time for creativity. So I'm
Right.
I'm I'm f I'm a friend of AI in this way, and for us, it's very helpful to um, to re to retouch things that were very complex, to retouching them out before. Um, Now we can clean them up in 5 minutes. But the problem with AI is that it's creating when you I mean, the problem is that it creates anything, but not exactly what you want.
Yes.
Yes. So maybe you want I was showing you the picture with a GIF with the different light situations from the house, and I said that there was construction site, um, in the neighborhood, and the first, uh, the first try was to remove the construction site with AI, and, it was replacing the construction site with a duck. So, yeah. So,
Yeah.
and absolutely make no sense, but we were generating once again and again and again, and, had, at the end, we had good, uh, a good, replacement for the construction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So it's a great possibility for us, but it's not, solving every problems we have
yeah. And
because we
it's
want
great to
the
hear.
solutions realistic. We want to keep it realistic.
And it's great to hear that it's actually there to help you have more time for creativity. This is how it should be.
Yes.
Um, your recommendation when it comes to learning photography, is there maybe an easy exercise or some easy exercises that can be done on a daily basis to help one train their creative and photographic eye?
On a daily basis, I think best advice is carrying a camera with you, uh, taking pictures all of the time. Um, so that it's like a muscle that you train. Um, when you're shooting pictures every day, you um, you keep your eyes open for good light, good situations, good compositions, and it's like training your visual muscle every day. Yeah, yeah.
Any sources of knowledge and learning that you can recommend eventually?
Yes, of course. I mean, when I was learning photography, um, of course, I went to university. I was assisting at photographers, and of course, this is a good way. But I mean, this is only one way. Maybe you work at a do an internship, you work as assistant. Maybe you can watch YouTube videos. I think there's so many knowledge nowadays, but the problem is not knowing the things. The problem is doing the things.
So you would say learn some theory, but then go take photos.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
good. Your
Create
favorite,
pictures.
favorite
Yeah,
photographer or photographers?
a lot of would be unfair to only highlight one photographer, but I really appreciate Hans-Georg Esch. He's a German architectural photographer. And he's shooting a lot of really big, interesting projects. Also really, really big projects like airports, really great company headquarters. And it's so interesting because at, in my projects, a lot of I have to. They are sometimes they are small, but very high qualitative, but he has projects that are high qualitative and very big, maybe like a new high-rise building at a river in downtown Frankfurt, and it's so interesting to shoot it with drone, by helicopter, uh, shooting from a boat, and you can find so many interesting pictures. And I really love his pictures because he is he is like uh, always seeking for the next great pictures. Also, he has so many good pictures. It's crazy. I really
Maybe
love
you
his
can
work.
give me a list of some of your favorite photographers so that I can forward
Yeah,
it to the community and
of
get
course.
inspired myself too. Would you say there are some interesting current trends in interior photography?
Yes, being more realistic, um, bringing back a natural style, because uh, 10, 20 years ago, everything had to look very clean, no people, everything was retouched, and I think um, it has something to do with AI because everything's possible. You can create everything, but when you can create everything, I mean, has no crazy value because it means nothing when you can create every picture of a house with AI. You want to see the special house, this 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 one, the original value, and I think the trend is being a bit more realistic,
More genuine and authentic.
genuine, authentic. Yes.
That's
Yeah.
great. That's actually a very good direction if you ask me. Okay, Philip, last question. Your message
Of
to the
course.
Chaos Campus.
Um, yeah. Have fun with taking pictures. Have fun with creating pictures, and stay curious.
Thank you so much. I mean, this is I myself will be watching this once again for sure, and I'm sure others will be doing this too. This was so insightful. Thank you from the bottom of my heart from being here for more than 3 hours, sitting with us, sharing all your knowledge, your story, all of those insights with us, showing us examples because that's so great about photography and generally about all of those visual industries. One can show a lot, and this way people can better grasp it, better understand the concepts, and eventually start following them. In the ideal case, fantastic session, really
Thank you so
insightful
much.
and
Thank you for your
inspiring.
time.
Thanks for your time. And to you, my friends, as usual, it was also a pleasure to hang out with you. You're still there. I love this. Watch the recording if you had to go at some point, go back, watch the recording. Next episode is going to be on Tuesday, June 23rd at 4 p.m. Central European Summer Time. We will be joined by Daniel Diaz de Castillo from Metrica Visuals, and we'll learn a bit more about creating elegant interior animations. So don't miss it. And until then, you know what to do. Stay safe, be healthy, rock on, and keep it real, my friends. Much love.